Welcome back to What Remains. This is session number 14 entitled Old Stones. Last session, the group ended up, was kind of starting off in a town called Land's End, which is on the north coast of Blackavon Lake, which is on the Broken Blade Coast. Apparently, House Sereda is in practice trying to repair the town to a serviceable state, and from the sounds of it, they are planning on making it into a fortified location for the purposes of defending Nock from the horrors to the west. Creatures, denizens, all sorts of horrible things continue to try and assail the civilized people of the Nock and Nock County, and one of the latest victims is Land's End, which is a town in disrepair. They dealt with some stuff inside of a tower. Apparently, the mage of the town had become maddened, and it was the first time in a long time that I've actually just conceded and done a kind of give me to a party based on just it was really fun episode. If you ever get a chance to go back and watch it, even those who are sitting with us here, just going back and watching it was pretty fun for me. It was it was fun, but also like grindingly painful. Like it was like reliving it. Anyways, that said, they've had a day to kind of wind down and do some things. They've taken some downtime activities on the side. Looks like there was some shopping done, some studying done, some intelligence gathering, drinking, carousing, the usual. They've had some information granted to them regarding the environment around Land's End, and one of the focuses of the group was a series of broken forts, fortifications, which are referred to as Old Stones by House Sereda, basically ruins that are on the north side of town that, you know, no one's really explored or investigated as of yet. And the group thinks that group of missing kids might have ended up there. We'll see. They plan on heading over that way once they gather up. But I assumed that the group would meet up actually in the tavern, or if you've acquired a place to kind of reside. Like I said, there's no shortage of places you can just call home.
Weren't we going to check out the manor or house we're supposed to be? That's supposed to be our reward for helping out the town and its various issues.
I don't believe anyone gave you a key to that house. It is in disrepair, but based on what you understand from the curios, it is still locked up. So basement access and anything would not. I mean, it wouldn't be an option at this point.
Yeah, but I suppose even at least a walk by would be should
Sure.
be.
It's a pretty massive tavern house, formerly a manor estate. Looks like there was a bit of a fortification attached to it, possibly a tower of some sort, which you can kind of see on the southern side of that building. Yeah, the bottom floor, as I stated, is locked up. It does appear that it is a very heavy, dark oak wood door reinforced with wrought iron braces. Looks like the locking mechanism is very, very intricate. You would note that the symbol of House Sereda is kind of placed on that lock. So, or not House Sereda, sorry, House Calibor, which are the known artificers and kind of technologists of Nock. So it'll be a very hard lock to pick indeed.
Okay.
Checking out the house, it looks like there's very little damage to the bottom two floors, but like the upper floors, which you presume had rooms in them, are pretty much devastated. The thatch roof that was present there is obliterated.
Okay, it's overall in a better state of
Yeah,
repair than is it overall. The
if
top floor is
if you
messed
were
up.
given access to those two floors below, you'd basically have a roof that would be the floors above you,
Yeah.
a makeshift roof of the rest of the house.
Okay. It's not like I fear where it's all like, oh hey, here's this place, and it's just an absolute rumble.
No. It's not bad. And the fortification itself,
Okay.
that's in shambles. But I mean, there's a lot of stone there that's usable. I mean, just because I mean, it's like Lego blocks. I mean, Lego blocks are still good. You can still use them. But that's presumed to have happened at some point during the downtime day. I would assume that you'd wake
Yeah.
up early enough in the morning to kind of gather and prepare for a little bit of an adventure outside of the walls of Land's End to investigate the old stones. Um,
Yeah, I guess.
yeah. If there's anything you want to do, I would assume you'd be gathering in the common room of the tavern or just out there in the town square um, with whatever you
Um,
need. Go ahead.
so when Fiona was like going door to door, did she get the sense that these were the only kids in this village or that there are more
There are
hanging
definitely
around?
more. It seems that the percentage of people who have come here, somewhere around 50 to 75 folk, right? And I mean like
Mhm.
citizens of Nog. Um, you would have to assume that about half of them are able bodied soldiers, and then the rest are people who are capable in some craft or necessary kind of function or another. You've got strangely a couple of cobblers because shoes are super important. You also have masons, woodworkers, all different types of trade in that kind of other half, and that number that I mentioned does not include their families. So to say if like an active person was accounted for in that kind of number, they may have brought a wife or a husband or a family with them. uh, just it really just that they weren't accounted for when you were told how many people are here. So it's more or less like 50 to 75 families than 50 to 75 people.
Okay. With that in mind, then I think before heading over to the Old Stones, Fiona would actively try to seek out some other similar aged kids
Okay.
and see if they might have seen them or know where they like to hang out, etc.
Okay. One thing you'd quickly gather is that the kids don't really do a lot of hanging around or fun stuff based on your day travel. Um, and you would kind of get an idea from the morning, kind of investigating this, that most of these kids are basically serving as apprentices to their families. They're learning the trade, they're being taught therein. It seems that. They do some studies, but it's just general education regarding, the three kingdoms, Osiria as a whole, and like its place in the world. But it's mostly like a homeschooling kind of situation. There's no active like educator here. Um, and your presumption on this is, being a Nokian kind of person yourself, is that this isn't a permanent situation. They're going to come out here for a year or two, perform these activities, transfer back into Sereda after they've kind of created a place for themselves out here, finalize all their transactions, finalize all of their real estate arrangements, life and living stuff back in Nock, and then fully transfer out here.
Okay, cool. Then getting the vibe that these are like the only three kids that get to be kids.
I will say that they will mention the kids, and you'll actually gather their names as well. The tiefling boy is known as Spike. The girl is known as Dabs, and the heavyset kid is known as William. Now, Spike is Spike's name. Dabs, everyone presumes it's just a nickname, but she doesn't talk much, so no one knows for sure. And William is definitely that kid's name. What
Oh.
informationally you gather is they are head in the clouds. Their families are not very kind of focused on, the trade. In fact, Spike is adopted. And his family, kind of, it seems what you can kind of glean is at their last kind of tether with him, like he's very rambunctious and getting into trouble, Spike, as a fiend child would be want to do. But it appears from what you're told that these three kind of fancy themselves as adventurers themselves.
Okay, definitely noted. With that in mind, she would return to the group, and say, "I have a feeling if there's any sort of adventure to be had, like at the Old Stones, those children may appear. And then kind of like gesture to head over there, like she'll start packing her things.
Okay. And I will confirm too, based on the notification I sent, the kids were last seen in the fishery, so that was where they would have been seen. It's like towards the coast.
Oh.
Okay, and how long ago was that?
A couple days.
But they were last seen along the coast. Along
Man.
the coast.
Yep.
I'm just saying, kids go missing for a couple days and they ask some strangers that just rolled into town to, hey, can you find these
What?
kids for us? Look, I'm just saying, the first thing we do when we get to knock is we're calling CPS.
I mean, I guess that's fair.
Yeah. Well,
What?
Well,
what's this out here? if you
so
don't
there are a
mind?
number
what
of
do you-
small islands outside of the coast.
Mhm.
One of them appears to have 3 statues of a decent amount of size that you can actually see from this far away. They're very weather worn and hard to kind of discern. But if you're trained in religion, you immediately recognize the 3 statues as being the warring triumvirate: Eloane, Ashtar, and Octavius, the 3 gods of the realm.
Are there any rumors or folk tales about these islands?
Nope.
As we were
go
like,
ahead.
sorry, discussing what we were going to do next, was that conversation happening at the bar or is everybody else somewhere else?
I'm assuming everyone kind of in the morning kind of split off and is doing their own stuff, and then Fiona's kind of reporting back with the information. Is that right, Josie?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, because I didn't know if like the discussion of where to begin looking for the children happened in.
I presume-
Well, that would be
We would even,
my
like, know
intent.
about it.
Yeah. I
That
presume
would
it
be
was kind
sort
of
of be my
mentioned
intent.
mentioned at dinner last night. We'll consider going to the Old Stones like we'd planned. Also, there's these missing kids. Then Fiona in the mornings, like, ran off to go and talk to some kids in the morning because it was hard to talk to them in the evening time, without being
How do you do, fellow kids?
yeah, without sitting weird. And so she's kind of gathered that information, come back to you as you kind of consumed your breakfast, and kind of lays out the details. Does that sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then my mom, that's when I started mentioning, brings up like, well, they're missing by the coast. What's going on out here that would drive them there?
Yeah, Hezrod's breakfast is like a ham hock and a beer.
They don't have ham, so it'd actually probably
Oh.
be fish.
I mean, that's
Fish
he's
hock
no
and a beer.
stranger to eating fish. He actually just like, so when they're like, all we have is fish, he's like, can I see them? And they like present a raw fish, and he just
He just-
takes it out
Oh,
of
no.
his hand and
The fish aren't
starts
raw.
eating
The fish that they're serving you are cooked.
Or
Oh,
or would
okay.
they be cooked or would they be dried?
They'd be cooked.
I would.
it. I mean, either way,
Yeah.
Hezrod's not a.
So-
But I
fish
mean,
eater.
like before. Anyways.
So it's like,
But
it's
he-
breakfast time. We're cooking up a bunch of meal. This is what we're serving.
But also, I'm not sure if he's ever seen a cooked fish.
Oh, well,
Probably
not yet.
not.
Whoa, this is weird. Like, this doesn't happen where I'm from.
You don't cook your.
You just
can't
reach
exactly-
out and grab your dinner.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
I don't imagine you can do a whole lot of cooking under the water.
Yep. Under the sea, it's all sushis and sashimi.
Don't say under the sea. I don't want to get started on that.
Under the sea.
Nope, 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 nope,
No.
nope, nope,
No,
nope,
no,
nope,
no,
nope, nope, nope.
Moving right along.
So,
Okay.
as a group, decide which way you're going.
Do we want to go to the
Um,
coast, or do we want to check out the
well-
old place and then find the kids?
The barkeep is there, so if that's kind of brought up, they're the one that mentioned that and say it's kind of important to House Sereda that the old stones be checked out and scouted. They just don't have
Right.
anybody they can offer, especially what with patrols going missing.
Right.
Or best
Well-
case scenario.
Well, if
would
patrols
be,
are going missing, then it's probably better to do the old stone, because then if there's more patrols, then kids don't
Maybe-
go running off.
And the kids have been
Well-
missing for 2 days.
So I'm sorry, the patrol went missing when they were investigating the
No.
old stones?
Incorrect. Patrol missing is a separate subject. So, real quick,
Okay.
just a quick note. Let's make sure we've got the threads out on
There's
the
like
table.
3 different
Okay,
things you can do.
yeah.
Broomhilda Red Eye was the one who mentioned the missing patrol. She was the kind of regal-looking lady who kind of came into the tavern and brought it up. The Mirror of Fallen Foe is to the west. Basically, the road you came down was running right alongside it, and that is where a patrol of House Rada disappeared. Nobody knows where they went.
Oh, okay.
Information is required. It's a few days ago, probably 4 or 5 days ago. So shortly after they arrived here.
Probably eaten by dragons.
The gates was brought up by Blair Warridge, who is the bartender, and she had mentioned that the north side of town is worth investigating, mainly because no one in House Sereda has checked them out because they're just old ruins, and they don't have the drive yet to kind of go into a possible hostile situation right outside of the town. If it it sparks or ignites anything like that would happen, it's better to be on the defensive side for House Sereda, always. If you got a wall in front of you and your opponent, you're winning already. So they haven't sent any patrols out there because it hasn't been necessary to do so. But if it's cleared, House Sereda might actually just step forward and make something of that place. And then the last thing would be the would-be adventurers, the kids who went missing. The last place that they were seen, like according to what you gathered, Fiona, was around the fishery, which is these kind of 2 big buildings here.
Right. So I feel like at least Fiona would suggest that they start looking around the fishery, and if there aren't any like obvious leads, then they can go to the old stone place. But
Sure.
if there's like, but if there's like a boat missing, then she'll suggest they check that out.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would agree.
Okay.
You find the kids first.
So if you all head over that way, what you'll very quickly realize is there's basically no one at the fishery this late in the morning. You've had breakfast, you've done some other activities, it's kind of closer to like 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. And you'll realize that all of the boats that you saw there last night, they're not there. They've all gone. And the smarter of you would realize that that's because they are out fishing. You would definitely find one individual, and only one individual, a half-elf, who, seems to be kind of milling about. Let me see if I've got his handout here. Yeah, his name is Jareth Bjorkan. And reuse your art as much as possible. He's a half-elf fellow, clear markings of Octavius on his person, and he sees you kind of approaching. As you're approaching him, he seems to be kind of breaking open a shelled fish with a dagger. Kind of looks over to you and says, "Can I help you?"
Yeah.
Hey,
As we're here, just wanted to ask, I wonder, looking for the kids that's gone missing. Or their friend here points to Fiona, heard that they were last seen around here.
Talk about the ragamuffins.
I guess.
No sense worrying about them.
Do
Doubtless.
they normally go
Regardless
missing?
of whether you care or not, I'm curious if any boats have gone missing or if there are any signs of distress.
No. Nothing that we've seen other than, what we was left with. Damages and whatnot. But there's dozens of different places those kids could end up. I mean, if they wanted to go swimming, they probably could have made it across to one of the islands. If they wanted to just go ferreting about, they could have gone into one of the broken houses and found what have you. Probably rats, dire rats, whatnot. I know there's a network of tunnels there and underneath the stonework there in some of these parts. They could have found their way into some of that. And worst case scenario is they made their way all the way outside of the city walls to somewhere like the old broken down tavern up to the north there, or maybe into the forest, or maybe even to the old broken forts up to the north there. Could have done anything. Those kids are a bit rambunctious, hard to get under control, and only reason I think they were probably seen out this way is that William boy. His dad is one of our best fisher folk. If you'd like, I can go ahead and give him a message if you want me to deliver one for you.
Oh, that would be great. If you could please ask if any inventory has gone missing, any old dinghy boats, or if they've seen any sort of tracks
Well,
of any
this would be
sort.
his dad, William's dad. So, I mean, if you want to, yeah, I'm the one who keeps track of all the inventory and stuff, and I'm telling you, nothing's missing. We're good. But if you want to talk to his dad, William's dad, he works for me. He's out on a boat right now, and I can
Yeah.
give him a message.
Yeah, probably be back by dusk at best.
About right, about right.
Do these children usually go missing?
Yeah, like
Days
I
at a
said, they're
time.
called the Ragamuffins around this group. When we were settling up and preparing our travel out this way, they were getting to all sorts of shenanigans out there and knock real loose cannons, those kids. And
Kids will be kids.
dozens of times, I believe I had seen, folks like, Theravis himself pulling them out of sticky situations. So, yeah, I mean, they could be anywhere, and we'd really much appreciate it if you had found them. Hopefully, they aren't in too much trouble. There's a lot of scary stuff out in the forest.
Have they
Yes.
gone to the
Oh.
old stones before?
Not that I'm aware of, no. See, the thing is William was supposed to be staying over here at the fishery and keeping track, because he's really good with books and numbers and stuff. He fancies himself a wizard. He's not. Probably never will be. But again, I'm part elvish. I've got a bit of magical aptitude, and I know what it takes. And he's a real smart kid, but he's also really, really hard to keep focused on anything at one time. And that's definitely something wizards gonna need is attention span, and the
Yeah.
boy don't have it. Anyway, he was supposed to be hanging around here, and then that Spike boy and Dabs came around, and that's when I last seen him. I believe the last person to have seen them would have probably been me. I think I mentioned that to his mom.
Well, would
Is there perhaps a dinghy boat or rowboat or canoe or something we can borrow to perhaps check out one of the islands?
No, there isn't. But if you'd like, we could probably get you a raft crafted here in a couple of hours.
Oh, the other kind of turns to the
Sure.
others.
Yeah.
we
I
want
guess we
a
can do
raft?
No need.
And
Yeah, Hezrod's like, a raft for what?
Also,
for us that don't swim,
if you're-
also,
not bad at swimming, or just keeping your head above water. If you walk out towards the marshy side, points kind of south of here, and just kind of walk out, there's currently a bit of a low tide, so you might be able to just walk on out across all the islands.
DM,
okay.
Yeah.
how far is it from this part of the pier to
I
this
believe
island?
the feats are currently accurate.
Oh,
You
to-
can
okay.
you can measure it.
Whoops! Alright.
Well, if the feats are accurate, then Hezrod can go check out all 3 islands in like a matter of minutes.
Yeah, Avram
Yeah,
would
like
like...
just Hezbollah go just have a scout, and I want to go look at the entrance to those tunnels.
Avram is going to jump into the water and start swimming.
In armor?
In
You're wearing
his-
plate armor,
in
right?
his heavy
Yes.
armor.
How many great swords are you
Bloop,
carrying?
bloop,
Go
bloop,
ahead and make an
bloop.
athletics check with
We got
disadvantage.
2 great
Oh,
swords.
In all your gear. Oh god, you just
So,
sink. Like
Hezrod watches Avran like jump into the water
Mhm.
with like his trademark confidence, and Hezrod's kind of like his eyes go wide, like he's really surprised.
Yeah, you
He's
see
like,
him kind of
Avran
submerged,
can swim.
but he starts pulling his arms up and kind of basically climbing out of the water as he's pulling himself forward with hands and heavy kicks. Like he seems to be wearing like a good, 80 pounds worth of gear, if that, like possibly more, and he is managing to keep himself over and above the water. It's definitely not the prettiest swimming that's ever happened.
he is swimming
Yeah.
with brute force and
What's in a
ignorance.
swimming competition? So I guess
So
that's
as
good.
he starts like windmilling through the water, like Hezrod walks to the end of the dock and is like watching him, and he's like, "Think like a fish! Think like a fish!"
Yeah. Look, I'm gonna ask the fella to lead me to the
There is
tunnel.
nothing but pure confidence and rage
Oh,
allowing
Yeah.
this man to swim.
hold on.
Anna watches Avran like
Okay.
kicking and making a general mess and turns back to the half elf.
A raft would be great, thank you.
Yeah, it'll take a couple hours. As Avran makes his way across, Hezron, are you going to tail after Avran?
If he as he basically as Avran makes it to the other side and starts climbing out of the water, that's when Hezrod secures all his stuff and jumps in the water as well.
Okay, and do you shift?
Or actually, you know what? No. When he's about halfway across, then Hezrod's gonna jump in and shift and swim right past him.
I don't think anyone's seen this really, well, actually, yeah, you have. You've seen Hezrod's lower body shift into like a fish fin.
No, I didn't. I wasn't using that when I was swimming in the river.
Oh, you weren't using that? Okay, this is the first time then. You would
Or
watch
at the beach.
as his legs basically become like...
Oh, wait, no, yeah, I did. When we were at the beach.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah, beach episode.
So he goes half fish and sails very quickly across the water after Avran, who's not moving very fast across the water because he doesn't have a swim speed. You have a very high value of swim speed.
Avran's like, something brushed my leg.
That's me. This makes it worse. The two of you make it across. There's a small patch of forest and trees. It looks like all of the trees have markings on them. The markings in question appear to be a holy symbol, one of the three, and then underneath it, carved into the tree, litanies, and basically just common prayers for each of the religions.
Do these carvings look fresh, or
it looks like
old and weathered?
They look like they're old and weathered, but it looks like someone's been keeping them up. Like as the growth and all the salt and such comes into it, they've been carving into it. And the trees in question here are, very much kind of, if you're familiar with Florida, they're kind of mangrove-y. The root structure, you're very much aware that you're kind of stepping out onto. And very quickly on, you can see these statues, very basic forms of the gods, standing somewhere around 50 feet, kind of in a circle. The circle doesn't appear to be clearly marked or anything, but one of the three seems to be standing on a higher hill than the other two.
And which one is that?
And that happens to be Aluane, goddess of life and death.
Hell yeah!
Boo!
Hezrod stands kind of at the base of that hill and looks up at the statue of Aluane, and then kind of looks around at the other ones before moseying over to the statue of Octavius.
Okay. Once you get to the statue of Octavius, you see a couple of things. There seems to have been a scuffle, some kind of kerfuffle that's happened here. Looks like something was dragged away. Near to where the statue is located, you can see a makeshift wooden sword, which is just a plank of wood kind of sharpened to a point, with like a smaller plank of wood kind of nailed to the middle point. And some kind of loose kind of leather strappings around where a hilt would be. Child-sized.
Made himself a little sword.
Yeah, Hezrod picks it up and he's like holding it completely wrong because he's like, there's no way this is a weapon. Like, what? And he's like holding it and he holds it out to Avra and he says, what is this?
Actually, a +6. Sorry.
+6.
Oh, I've always wanted to do that. Just have make like some random wooden ass spear, be like most powerful thing ever.
It's like,
it's just
comment
a
on that
wooden
later.
spear.
It's cursed. It's flammable.
Yeah. So yeah, you would see a bit of a scuffle, but you really wouldn't be able to identify much unless the two of you would like to try and track. You can do so by either making a perception check, a investigation check, or a survival check. Depending on which one you choose determines what information you might gather from your roll.
Which one do you want to
Okay.
do, Hezrod?
I can do perception. I'm pretty good with that.
Alright,
Also,
what's
I'm.
the
Can Avran hold on to the wooden sword?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just sticks it back there with his other ones. So yeah, I'll do perception. If you want to do something else.
Yeah, I'll do
Adds 20
some-
pounds, cripples Avran.
16.
Ah!
Damn! Nat 20!
I'm back.
Okay.
Hey!
Nat 20 perception.
Dice is
So-
out of dice jail.
Avran kind of like starts looking at the tracks, looking at the ground, and would very quickly realize that two things appear to have kind of happened here. It looks like there was a boat on the northern coast of the island here, and there were footfalls. Looks like 3, maybe 4 individuals that came onto shore, and based on what you can determine, looks like they dragged something or some things back onto the boat. You're not sure how many were taken. you would then note that it would seem that there is pretty significant indications that 3 children came upon shore from kind of the northeast coast, pretty much where you two kind of ended up, and kind of trudged onto land by kind of like, getting out of the water and walking wet and, whatnot onto the land and moving towards the very same statue that you kind of looked towards, Octavius, for some reason. And then they were apparently ambushed by these boat havers and taken, possibly all of them. And when I say possibly all of them, Chad, you very quickly notice that there does appear to have been motion, and not like active motion. Now, I mean to say motion that you would have kind of noted that it appears that something moved away from the Octavius statue into the trees. And you can see that there are a couple of perches nearby. You can also see that kind of off and away, a couple of points where it looks like a very hard to notice kind of set of tracks kind of wanders off towards the southeast coast of the island. One set.
Right. So as he's like kind of looking around, and he kind of takes notice of this other track, and he like follows it with his eyes up to the trees, and Avran's doing his thing. Hezrod points and he says, "I think one of them might have escaped."
Where?
And he's pointing.
As you kind of head over that direction, Hezrod, your perception very clearly identifies something a bit more gruesome. You see kind of smattering of blood on grass, and then you kind of look towards where it looks like it came from based on its presence, and you see a man laying there. Looks like near him is a massive rock, well, not massive, but decent sized rock, that appears to have struck him soundly in the head, and apparently stoved his skull in. He is wearing black armor, and on the chest plate of the scale mail armor that he's wearing, the mark of Halloween is present, but the moon is upside down and the star pointing down.
So Hezrod's been traveling with Gorwadir for a fair bit of time now.
We've gathered that means
he's
death
aware.
cult, yeah.
Yeah, so he's aware that, hey, like, Gorwadir worships Halloween. Might be able to kind of read some more into this. As Hezrod kind of walks up to the dead guy and like rolls him over onto his back. Like, what's the quality of his armor? And like Hezrod starts checking his pockets and seeing if he has anything valuable on him.
Okay. The armor is a suit of splint mail. Looks like there is a Morning Star not too far from where he is at. It looks like there's kind of a buckler shield strapped to his arm. All of it's kind of like burnished black in color. It doesn't look like it was painted. It looks like it's kind of charred to be that way. The symbol's kind of carved into the chest. It's not very ornate, but it's basically like blackened armor, and then they carved the symbol to kind of reveal the actual natural metal color. So it's kind of like a silver patterned kind of Halloween symbol.
So Hezrod kind of searches the body, and then he like grabs the guy by his lapels and like hoists him up to his face so he can kind of get a closer look at him. Then he throws him back down on the ground and kind of like looks around like he's trying to find more clues to pick up the trail of where this kid might have gone.
Yeah, certainly. So it looks like this child moved to the southeast coast, and based on the tracks, it looks like they entered into the water at that point. Possibly heading to the other island, possibly heading to shore. You're not sure.
Okay. Hold on, I'm adding a few things to my character sheet here. I'll just do the Morning Star and the buckler. I'm probably intending on eventually bringing that body back to shore. So as long as we know where it's at and it's gonna stay there. The blood from his wound, is that still wet? Like fresh?
No, not really. It's kind of dried and
Okay.
yeah,
So,
coagulated.
like any blood that's like on the ground is like
Yeah, if
dark.
you'd like to make a medicine check to try and determine how long he's been dead, you can.
I got a 15.
Couple of days.
Okay. And you said that basically the tracks leading away from it went this way.
Mhm.
Okay. So I'm not sure if Avran followed me, but Hezrod would, after doing this, kind of trot back to Avran and kind of report his findings. Yeah, he's like pointing and he says,
There is a dead man in the woods, and footprints, small ones, leading away into the water.
and he points out towards the southern island.
He says, that last one might have gone there, but the others, I think, went the other way.
Yes. You, Hezrod, can you go southeast to those islands and try to notify the rest if you get to them, and I will go north to the other island.
Hezrod kind of looks at him questioningly, and he like looks out towards the south island, and then he looks off in the direction of the northern island, and he understands that like the difference of one is like the distance between this island and the south island is substantially shorter than the distance between this island and the northern island. And another thing is that the northern island, if it's gonna have like probably the most amount of people, it's gonna be the most amount of trouble.
Oh, you can see it from here. There's no one on it. There's just high grass.
Oh, over here on this island?
Yeah, you can see it
the-
from here. It's only a couple hundred feet. It's not like it's miles away, you guys.
Oh yeah, this one?
Yeah.
It's just
If
okay,
you
so
look,
this one's
if you
just,
look
like,
over there
scrub
from
grass.
here, you can see
Yeah.
that it's like 300 or so feet away. It's got some high grass, kind of closer to shore. It looks like a bit more like succulent kind of styled plants that are just kind of like dry looking and coastal, and there's no one there.
Okay.
And the
Jonah,
same's true
alternative
of
proposal.
the other two islands.
Okay. So alternative proposal, and I'm not gonna do this in Hezrod's voice because it hurts my throat.
In fact, Fiona, Golradier, and Eric, if you're watching the middle island, you would watch and kind of see Hezrod pull something out of the ground that's body shaped and kind of like shake it, and then start pulling items off of it. So, I mean, it's only a couple hundred feet away. It's not like it's...
Yeah.
Yeah, 400 feet away. That's not too far.
All right, seeing a dead body.
Fiona's like,
Hezrod
Hezrod,
yell across.
That's not the kid, is it?
You very suddenly realize that your voice isn't carrying very well. It is still windy, because it's still coast. But you can definitely see the half elf go, huh? And then kind of look out and goes, oh.
At that point, I think Fiona
Well,
would turn to
if-
that man and say,
You said you could send a message to his father, correct?
No, I said I'll give a message to him when he gets back in from fishing.
Gonna be later on
right.
today.
Well, I think you should let them know that it seems like there's been some kind of kerfuffle over on the island, and his son may have been involved.
Fair enough.
Well,
fair enough.
seeing Hezrod mess about, can I swim over myself?
Yeah, go ahead and make an
Or at
athletics
least try
check.
to.
You said we could potentially walk, right?
Yeah, if you go around the outside.
Okay, Fiona's gonna risk it. She's gonna roll up her skirt and take
I
one
rolled
for
a
the
2.
team.
So Eric is like,
Minus 1 is 1.
how hard can it be? Dives into the water. The water's, it's pretty calm, but there's still a little bit of wave patterning, and he kind of gets caught in the undertow and ends up back on shore, sputtering, spitting, and watching as Fiona
Son of a bitch.
tips her toes into the water. And yeah, you kind of start making your way across. You can make an athletics check as well. You do so at advantage, Fiona.
He's
Yeah,
like,
I'll
damn.
follow-
Hezrod makes that look
I'm gonna
so
follow
easy.
them. Yeah, I'm going. Well, we knew he was more compared. Anyways, I'm going to follow them.
Fair enough. You'll be behind them a bit. Golradier, you're
Yeah.
also doing it. Just the two of you make athletics checks. It's not terribly hard.
Oh gosh.
16.
17, and 18 for
Oh,
Jesse.
sorry,
17.
I
Right,
rolled that.
advantage.
So
Yeah,
you
roll
very
twice.
quickly realize that the shore actually kind of resides very narrowly under this kind of partition, and you're able to make it to the second island with very little trouble. And you actually see a narrowing position kind of in between these two islands as well. So the two of you kind of wade through, never getting more than kind of like chest level water-wise, and always having a pretty secure footing on the ground. And that'd be chest level for the shorter of the two. Eric, you follow suit, and you can make an athletics check as well.
Um,
Also get 2.
so I'm assuming Hezrod.
Barely make it to the first island, having to kind
Damn,
of
dude.
catch yourself, and you kept on falling underneath.
You're
You
not
just
strong.
not very good with this whole water thing. Gloridir and Fiona, you see Hezrod and Avran on the other side debating whether or not they're going to go to different islands. By that point, they would have decided. Avran and Hezrod, are you going to swim to the other islands or just make your way back?
Well, I mean, if we could see them coming around shore and making this route,
Yeah.
kind of approaching us, Hezrod would just kind of hook a thumb back towards this southern island and say,
We should meet the others over there.
Okay. And if that's the case, Avran's like a massive tree of a person, and Hezrod doesn't care about water. So I'm just going to assume the two of you can walk and wade in water. And you make it onto the kind of third island there. So, Eric is just across the way. Finally caught his breath, but you can kind of, you're not that far away from each other, maybe like 100 or so feet apart. And you're on this other 200 or so feet apart. And you're on this.
Hezrod looks over as like Eric drags himself out of the water back on the land. And he's like,
Eric, do you need help?
You hear,
No!
Windy.
oh yeah, sorry.
All signs point to the contrary, but I say no.
Once on this island, what would you like to do?
So having like seen the footprints and stuff on the other island, Hezrod kind of knows what he's looking for.
Yep, we're looking
So
at the
he's
same
gonna
three options: perception, investigation, and survival. And if you want to inform the other two, they can either help if they're trained in this skill, or they can try their own roll for whichever option they choose.
Yeah, Hezrod's going with perception again.
Okay.
But he would kind of catch Golradir and Fiona up on what's going on.
Okay.
I could help
Okay.
with perception.
Okay, so then Hezrod, you're making your perception roll at advantage. And Fiona, are you investigating?
Yes, she is.
And then Hezrod, are you surviving again?
No, I think
What?
Avran.
Not
did.
Hezrod, Avran, sorry, I did the wrong thing. Avran, you're
Well,
surviving.
they're
again.
both pretty beefy.
Yeah, they're
Well,
frontline.
Avran would have swam to the north.
Of course.
I don't know if it came.
Of course.
Okay, you
I
get
don't know
there,
if it
there's
came
nothing on the
from
island,
Mike.
and I need you to make an athletics check because it's actually keeping the water control.
Of course he does
Okay.
the opposite of what everyone else does.
You're
Well-
fine. You get over there. It's high grass. There's nothing on the island.
Cool.
So, Hezrod, you would have saw Avran go that way and just been like, okay, whatever. And then you would have teamed up with Golradir and Fiona, and the three of you would work together. With a 16
Oh,
on
sorry.
perception,
Avran just up and walked all the way over to the other island.
swam.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
He
divide
just
between
went-
those two islands is a bit deeper.
yeah. So why'd he do that? I'm confused.
He wanted to
Because
see if
he's
there was
Avran.
anything over there. He thought there might be like a
It
trap
didn't
door.
come through the mic, but when we were choosing, I said go to the North Island.
Okay.
Oh,
Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's
No big
fine.
deal.
You did say that. We were having a conversation, and then the rest of the party decided to do other things, and we got.
It's okay.
sidetracked.
It's okay.
It's okay.
But the
Okay.
point of the matter is, with a 60 perception, you'll see that the tracks do continue straight across the island as if someone was booking it and moving to the other island that Eric is currently on. Someone with very small feet, probably, size 9 men's.
So Hezrod immediately like falls down on all fours, so he's like walking around on like his hands and his feet with like his face
Mhm.
like inches above these footprints, and he's doing this like awkward like scrabble across the island, like following this trail of footprints, and he follows it all the way into the water, out towards the other island.
Okay. looking in between the two divides, Fiona very quickly realizes that she's kind of paying attention to the shoreline, and she sees something that kind of shines in the sunlight, the morning light. Walks over to it, kind of brushes the sand off of it, and pulls out an arrowhead attached to a shattered kind of arrow shaft. And as she kind of investigates the area, she realizes that there are a number of these arrows, probably somewhere in the half dozen, that are either inside of the water and like at the shore, or right on the shore of the island, as if someone was firing arrows from the statued island at this island. They're not rusted or damaged, other than the shattering from impact. So these arrows had to have been fired recently.
So Fiona pulls one or two out and gestures them to everyone else and says, I really hope they weren't shooting at that poor child that tried to escape. If so, he's probably bleeding somewhere.
As you kind of get a full, like, broken but full shaft and head of an arrow, Goradir, you immediately recognize the arrows as being elvish, specifically winter elf arrows of the Hrive, Hrive.
Oh, yeah. Hezrod definitely would have made it a point to mention to Goradir that the guy on the other island has the.
Oh, and he was a human, by the way. He was not an elf. That dead guy.
So there's a dead human on the other island who's bearing some sort of twisted or altered symbol of Alawain.
Yeah, and just to point out, the Hrive is another enclave. So there's the Mare Archive and the Hrive Enclave. Those are two elvish enclaves that have been kind of mentioned thus far.
Yeah.
And again, for
yeah,
those who don't know, enclaves are elvish kind of civilization structures. They don't do cities. They wander around. Anyways, go ahead, Chad.
Well, yeah, I was just, after having that brief conversation, relaying that information to Goradir and Fiona, that's when Hezrod would have followed those footprints into the water.
Okay.
But he would have done like the same thing he did with Avran, where he like points and he says, "Oh, I think one went this way."
Taking
This is like crawling across the sand thing into the water.
Taking all your time, you would go to the island with Eric, and with Eric's assistance, no rolls are necessary here, but fully kind of detail it. You'd realize that the small footprints appear to have gone on this island and booked it towards the marsh area. When you get to the marsh area, very quickly identify that there's no way you could track 2-day-old tracks on these kind of marshy lands, because when the tide rises, it kind of comes up a bit higher than this and washes pretty much everything away. That being said, there is no further trailing.
Do footprints count as objects?
No.
Okay.
Would my favorite enemy at all help?
No.
I have human indoors.
Yeah, it wouldn't help with tracking outside of, or tracking the child. If the child made it to the shore or not. There are no footprints that exist anymore, because
there's just no.
Yeah, it's basically it's a beach.
Hard, just nothing.
Yeah, it's a beach. So like the waves go in, they get higher, and they pull all the sand and silt out.
Yeah, and they eventually just level everything out.
Yeah, and then 2 days worth of tiding is not gonna have anything.
Yeah, I mean,
and everyone's off doing his own thing.
A deep set of footprints will go away with like 2 or 3 waves. So.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm thinking. So we didn't find any blood paralleling the tracks, did we?
No.
Okay. So it doesn't seem like he got hurt and he made it away. Okay.
Perhaps we should check the houses in this area.
Oh, so,
I
so
mean,
he ultimately made it back over here.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Well, depending on which child it was, he might have gone home. So when
Wouldn't
one
they
kid,
know that they went home?
So when that one kid's okay, well no, because
they're all
they've
missing.
all been missing. Yeah.
So he obviously
So,
never made
okay.
it home or never went home. So
Okay.
yeah, head back, start checking houses.
Yeah, I think we can start by searching these houses around here.
Okay.
And maybe the stuff that's over here.
Wait, can I?
Yeah.
After finding the tracks on this island, would I be able to, in some way, sort of be able to, like, estimate like which of the 3 kids this could be based on rough age?
Good question. Make a survival roll.
Would I have an advantage?
Yeah, you're tracking a human. No.
This
One of them's not technically a human. I will not.
This is why I fucking hate this feature.
I will
This is
not give you
stupid.
advantage
The one he's tracking.
unless I out of character roll them both. I'm not going to tell you have advantage.
Well, it's like,
Because
it's
if I tell
stupid
you
because
have
like
advantage, then you'll know it's not the.
I was going to
tiefling.
say that because like it's one of those stupid things where oh, it's like it's human, but it's only 2 types. So like
Wouldn't matter.
You
if
should
you
have
know
been a
if you have
blood
it, you know
hunter.
immediately it's one of
Your better result would have told you, it's you're gonna find out who it is, and it wasn't on an advantage situation. You rolled it on the first dice, but you would note that based on it, this is a male child who is light
Okay.
and lithe, and probably lankier or older, like wiry.
base art and base
So
art. We
not
got
William.
no, because William
Well-
is more heavy set, so he
Yep.
sounds like he'd be bigger.
You'd also notice that
So
there are
it's probably
drag
the
marks on the
youngster.
sand, and also on parts of the dirt that might be a tail.
So
Tieflings have
this is
tails.
probably the youngster. This is probably Spike.
Yeah, you definitely know it's not a human because humans don't have tails. It's your favorite enemy. You know that.
Yeah,
And I wouldn't imagine.
yeah.
if he fancied
I'm thinking
himself-
kid.
Out of character. I will say with that roll, you know it's not a human, leaving the one option.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
but
figure the
this is-
kid that fancies himself a wizard isn't going to be braining some dude with a big rock.
Actually,
Or something.
there are humans that have tails. They're called humunculus.
No, they're not.
Get out! Get out!
Ow, ow.
That wasn't even
Get-
good.
That is like the
So
inspiration.
you're gonna swim across the from the island, Afran? Go ahead and make an athletics check. DC 100.
DC 100 with disadvantage.
Afran sails off to the
Jesus.
seas.
Average Jones.
You have fallen down for the last time.
No.
No, I'm of course joking. But are you moving on from that island, Afran?
Indeed.
Okay, great. So if you're making your way back to shore, then just make another athletics check.
Good this way.
Don't drown.
I can't drown even if I did.
Okay, you're making it an advantage since you're moving towards the shore, so you
Oh,
succeed.
okay.
You managed to make it to the shore. The rest of
you're
you
lucky. Oh,
will see
So
Avran's
lucky.
towering form getting back up onto the shore, a ways way down the way, and you have tracked to the terminus of the tracks of what you would now know as Spike.
And there's nothing on this part of the shore, right?
Nothing.
Well, what do you know, Spike? Or can we? Is it possible to even call out to him and let him know this?
So, if you're going to check out those houses, which I believe was the first
Yeah.
intent, you'll note that about half of them are occupied. It looks like there is a man who is kind of cleaning up and tidying up. It also looks like he is preparing some food. There are a couple of kids present with him as he kind of does the kind of menial chores. If you ask him if he's seen a tiefling boy come through here, he would say, "No, I haven't. I'm sorry. I do know that they're missing though. Those kids, the ragamuffins. Sorry, I don't know. I haven't seen them." And the same response comes of the other people who are present. One of the houses is occupied. You can tell someone lives there, but no one is present. And if you kind of ask the other people that you're talking to, you would note that this happens to be the home of Bilfrid. And Bilfrid is, according to them, the father of the missing boy Spike.
Well, okay.
And then last but not least,
Well, I don't know about anyone else, but as researching, I'd be like shouting at the boy's name, Spike, over just
yeah,
sort of
again, a couple of
speaking
days have
loudly.
have passed, so it's probably not likely. But yeah, you yelling out the name doesn't seem to. It gets you more attention from the people in the town part.
Oh yeah.
Nothing from anybody present. If you go to the house that appears to be walled, a woman kind of strides out and sees you, and she says, "You're looking for the tiefling lad?"
Yeah.
And that'd be
Signs point that he's
this
at
house
least
here.
heading this direction.
I'm Valdine Parista. I can't be of much help. I haven't seen them. I do know there were a couple of strange ships out in the middle of the day a couple of days ago, about the same time that they ended up missing. if I see those ships again, I could definitely report it to whoever. I figured that they were just some nearby small village or place. There's a small village just north of here along the shore, off the road a bit. Little town, little hamlet, if you will, on the water. But we're not troubled with it. They haven't attacked us. Not on this map out of character. It's not showing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
Like, oh shit! I hope she's not talking about the place that got flattened by that Hecatonchires.
no. If there's anything I can help you with at all, though, please just feel free to ask. Yes.
Do you have any beer?
I do not actually. No.
It has been a long day. I am parched.
I apologize. I couldn't help
It's
with that.
been an hour or two.
Yeah,
at
he
most.
like left the bar like half an hour ago.
It's 10 o'clock.
Oh,
we can get another beer when we pass by the tavern in a minute.
All right. Well, good day. And she heads back into her house. She just strikes you as, present. And she looks like this. She also has a dagger that she's using to kind of shuck oysters. Hers is a bit more there's less craftsmanship to it, I guess is the best way to describe it. It's a bit more jagged
Rough.
and
Oh,
rough.
it's yeah, it's
She has
it's
brown
like,
eyes?
It's a working tool.
She has what?
She has brown eyes?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
Looking for a brown-eyed lady.
No, if she had blue eyes, then Avran would have been like, my love!
No.
Everyone's not here.
Yeah, Avran's on the other side of the shore. So, I'm assuming Avran will kind of get back onto the main thoroughfare and start heading back across the town to meet up with the group. And
maybe.
okay,
What does it look like here before?
we've already covered this and we've already described what that place looks like.
Oh,
It looks just
that's
as
the
we
old
described it. No, that's
Okay.
not the old stone. That's the house that is locked up in its lower portions and is broken up that we described at the beginning of the session.
Yeah,
Eric was the one who
that's
investigated
our-
yesterday.
To
Alright.
the house.
Yep. If you
So then,
win
yes,
the town's
he will-
favor,
He will meet up with everyone.
everyone else is going to just kind of come around the way or
What
kind of up the steps and in. And you said you're going to. Oh, that's a settlement. So there's a number of people who are just living there instead of having chosen a house because the houses
Okay.
they've elected are not suitable for living yet. So there's just a couple
Right.
of members of House Sereda who are present, but it's mostly just non-workers at this point. There's a couple of kids who are kind of being taught. It sounds like just simple educational lessons regarding the city of Nock and its structure, commerce. It sounds
Okay.
like.
So if asked, then they don't really have any info.
No, they said they haven't seen the kid and they know he's missing, and that Spike's dad lives right on the fishery side. So does William, William's dad, and they don't know much about Dab's family, but they must live. They must have taken up a house inside because they're not here in the settlement.
Okay. So then, yeah, we'll go
Does
back.
Spike's dad work at the fishery, or does he just live near there?
He just
I think he lives near.
lives near there, but I believe he works
William.
with, they would say, Griselda. Old
Okay.
Growler.
Well,
Mhm.
interesting. So, two things worth noting. Okay, so he doesn't work at the fishery, so it would make sense that the guy at the dock didn't have anything to say about him.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, we should go see Spike's dad. Like, we've determined that Spike came back to town, but if he's been missing for a couple days, obviously his dad doesn't know where he's at, and was his dad the one that like raised the alarm about him missing?
No.
So who raised the alarm about the kids missing?
William's parent and also Dab's parents, who
Okay,
Fiona would
well,
know from conversation, live close to the Peculiarities shop. So kind of on the northwest side.
Well, I'm just saying, Hezrod's kind of frustrated about this whole situation. might be cathartic to beat the shit out of a deadbeat dad.
He adopted
and I,
this kid.
yeah.
Just say,
Well,
"Yo, what's up, Mr. Spike? Do you know where your son is?"
well,
John, I have a question.
Sure.
I'll let Evan go first.
Walking this way,
Yeah.
did Avron happen to see the lady? Valdine?
No.
Okay.
You looking to make a match?
I mean, depending.
Um,
It depends on if Avron sees her from the side or the back.
Didn't see
Are
her
you
at all.
also an amalgamation of spirits?
Well,
The back, eh, Jonah?
Oh,
well, no, John, I
Shut
got a
up.
question. And,
Go ahead.
well, I got a question. It's probably, and I'm probably really stretching out, but like,
Sure.
is it like where I have a young daughter? Is it possible to like just like with the experiences I've had with her, like look around and see anything that might that would sort of stand out as somewhere that a scared little child might try and hide?
Absolutely not.
Okay,
There's-
didn't think so.
There's no place that you haven't kind of looked or checked that has a child in it.
Well, no, just more like
No, I understand.
like, having that background, just like just
Out of character.
father sense just tickling in.
So simplicity's sake, I would assume that's the case. You're looking in those kind of cubby holes and such. What I'm telling
Okay,
you
so
is it's
all been
fruitless.
exhausted.
Yeah, it doesn't result in a child.
Okay. I was expecting a no, you can't do that type of situation. Just
No,
like
I'm not saying no. I'm saying that there's nothing. That's it.
Yeah, but yeah,
Got
that's okay. That's a different story.
Hezrod would like to start looking here, and then
We already covered
after
14, so you went over, and that's where the settlers are kind of placed. People who haven't chosen a home or still building their home inside.
Oh, okay.
That's where the schooling was going on. That conversation's happening.
Okay. Sorry, I thought.
It's okay. Just
Yeah. Based on, and was that building already checked out?
yeah. So if you go past that building, you'll note that it's currently serving as a small guard station, and there's a house serrated guard inside. One of the granite guard.
Oh, I got you.
Is posted.
So this is basically, yeah, keeping an eye on this road here.
Yep.
So that's
Okay.
all bunk. Did we check out these buildings thoroughly?
Yeah. So there were some
Yeah,
people
they
living in there. There were some that were empty that were hardly a place to hide, and Eric thoroughly kind of scoured them for any places that one might hide in such a place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Would
think
the
our
searching
next
have
stop is to
involved
go
these-
see.
Okay.
I think our next stop is to go see Spike's dad.
Okay. So if you ask around, especially in the town square, you'll note that his dad, Bilfred, works with Griselda Growler Copperrose, the leader of the building crew. She operates mainly out of her home, which is on the north side of town. It's the house that's pyramidal, kind of on the north block there. You can kind of see it. I will ping it for you, though. I will try to ping it for you, though. Kind of there. And you would very quickly learn that she and her crew, including Bilfred, are currently working on the barracks, which Avran, as you passed through the town, you would have noted that there were some people working on these buildings here. The ones with the kind of walled-in courtyards.
Okay.
So, Hezrod aggressively asks a bunch of awkward questions until people point him in the direction of the man he's looking for.
Sure.
He is not. He has no like social graces or finesse or anything like that. He's not like, oh, excuse me, can I, have a moment of your time? He's just like,
Do you know this man?
they're like, ah, and he's like,
No, don't run away from me. I have questions for you.
Well, if you head over to the barracks, I think the situation is going a little differently than you anticipate. When you get there, there's about 5 individuals who are kind of sitting on one of the walls. Looks like they're currently in the midst of a break, a lunch repast. Some of them have kind of, tin boxes. Others have kind of satchel bags near them, and they're kind of pulling food out. Some of them have, tin cups or clay cups and are drinking some sort of beverage as they eat food, which appears to be very Nokian in style. Bread with food substances inside of it. The L sandwich of the world. But they're sitting there. It looks like the leader of the group is a dwarf woman, very physically fit dwarf woman, kind of looking at you as you approach, and she says, "Can I help you with something?"
Yes, we are looking for Bilford.
Belfred gestures down the
Bilfred,
line.
yes.
You see a guy who looks like he's probably in his 30s. He's wearing kind of like a cap over his head, kind of reddish in color, covering his ears. Kind of has like, a bit of stubble. Bright, stunning blue eyes, kind of staring down at you. And human looks down at you and says, "Is this about Spike?
Yes.
Have you found him?"
Before Hezrod can like yell anything offensive, Fiona steps forward and pulls out the arrow that she found and says, "Unfortunately,
You
we
see his
believe
eyes
they've been
widen.
abducted."
And his face kind of just turned white as you pull out an implement of death dealing
It's
and
not
say,
as-
"Unfortunately." Continue your sentence. Sorry, go ahead.
Unfortunately,
we're
we
gonna
have
have-
reason to believe they've been abducted, but your son managed to escape. Do you know where he may be hiding or recovering?
You see an absolute sign of relief, and then he says, "What about William and what about that William and that girl Bonnie?"
Didn't see no sign of them.
They call her Dabs,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And the other workers kind of nod. Yeah, Dabs. They call her Dabs.
Did we
She, like,
speak to Dubs?
He gestures
family?
to Hezrod actually and says,
Well, you see, my friend here is very well equipped at tracking and water-related things, and he surveyed the area and determined that they were taken into a boat of some sort.
In the middle of that sentence, after she says like Hezrod's equipped, he cuts in and he says,
It's because I'm a fish.
He kind of looks over to Fiona and says, "If he got away, he probably wouldn't come running home. I told him to stop getting into trouble, and I'm assuming if his friends went missing, he probably thinks he's in a world of trouble, not knowing I was just angry when I said what I said. I told him I was going to send him to House Calibor for bureaucracy training."
Hezrod starts telling a story. He says,
When I was young, my friends and I would get into trouble. And when we wanted to hide from our parents, we would go hang out in this little underwater cave. Does Spike and his friends have a place like that underwater cave where they hide and hang out to get away from their parents?
I know that when we first got into town, he and his friends were talking about all sorts of adventures they wanted to go on. Wanted to go to the island statues and get the blessing of Octavius, they said. They also had mentioned that if the Curios would let them, they'd go up to the highest point of the tower. But then everything happened with that mage or whatnot. I heard that got settled, but
Yeah, they're definitely not up there.
Sure. But
That mage has been thoroughly dealt with.
I'll be completely
Well-
honest. The place that seemed to interest him the most was those forts up to the north.
I knew it.
But they could be in. I mean, well, he could be in any rat hole or building anywhere in the town. Especially if
There's
he's
a lot
hiding
of-
from me because he thinks I'm angry at him. Can you do me a favor? He reaches into his lunch tray and pulls out a silver knife and hands it to, I assume Hezrod would be the closest after the storytell. Hands that to you and says, "See him, give him that, and tell him I'm not going to send him to House Calibor. I just want to see him home safe. And if he's really, really set on doing all this adventuring stuff, then we'll talk about getting him into the Granite Guard training."
Hezrod seems like unusually focused and unusually like serious as this transaction happens, and he just like gives Wilfred a solid nod as he like
Wilfred, yeah.
stows the dagger away. Wilfred, that was it. So he says,
We will tell him.
Yeah.
Can you also point out Dab's family?
Well, out of character, Dav's family has been communicated with Fiona. They were the quest givers. They don't have any more information. They're
Yeah.
useless.
Okay.
Oh,
Sorry.
Delicately and like noticing how sad. Oh, sorry. Were you gonna say something?
"Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, useless as parents."
She would kind of somberly turn to the rest of them and actually kind of refer to the leader, the dwarvish woman,
Mhm.
and say, "Unfortunately, you should let the town know." And she hands over the arrow that the threat is on the horizon, and unfortunately, they've seemed to kidnap 2 of your children.
I'll be completely honest with you. My job is to build as best I can, and right now we're trying to make a place for our granite guard to stay. That's what these buildings are here for. So I understand my purpose, and I'll send somebody over if I can, but if you are not currently tasked with anything else, you may want to just go on over and speak to the captain of the guard yourself and let them know.
Another
don't-
thing. Okay, yeah, I'll save this question for when we go speak to the captain of the guard, and it might be better if it comes from Golradir, but we should probably ask around and see if anybody is aware, or if they have any knowledge or details about what this group is with this Halloween symbol, what that's all about.
I don't believe we should go and alert the gods just yet.
If you're looking for information
not?
regarding a religious sort, Growler says, then you might want to go and speak to the priest. They might be able to help you. Marigold Sunsbright is over in the Temple of Octavius. She's next on the docket for repairs. Just got to put a bit of a replacement on that dome up on top of her building. We might just make that nice and square. A lot of round weirdnesses in that building. I think it was crafted by elves.
Hey.
No insult. I mean, you just know that your kind isn't really set for building buildings. That's why most of you just wander about and live in yurts.
We like traveling.
That's fine. I'm okay with that. You know, I mean, you've got your strengths. I mean, no better swordsmiths than the elves. But
I mean,
building houses
Except the dwarves.
ain't your forte. Sorry. Kind of helps.
Trying
I
to
won't
get himself
argue
a
with you
sword
on that
better.
one.
Kind of helps if you're willing to cut down trees. Am I right, boys? Everyone kind of goes, yeah. Fuck trees. No,
Hey,
you see Eric
friends.
you see Eric like twitch as as internally he thinks back to his wife. He's like, "Oh gosh, she would have
snaps into a West Side Story. Elves and elf lovers versus dwarfs and dwarf lovers. I love it. But no, yeah. If you are going to the
We
temple,
can all get along.
are you going to the temple, or are you gonna move on to something else?
Yeah, we can go to the temple.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Yes.
as
We can let her know she's the next on the docket.
But she was.
Can I have a point of clarification?
Yeah.
So when they said to the north, right?
Yeah.
Is
northeast.
like is it okay? So northeast to the Old Stone.
Yeah. It's these.
Okay,
it's
gotcha.
these things right here.
No. I know they're there. I was just wondering, like, if they
I'm pretty
meant...
sure you've already been everywhere on the map, so I'm just gonna throw out the number markers.
Okay.
And if you want to take the notes, you can.
Notes.
You haven't been to the 6s yet, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
Yeah. We've been everywhere else.
yeah.
That's fine.
Basically, 10 hasn't been touched, but we'll cover that.
Yeah.
Possibly, we'll see. But yeah, 11 is the temple, and so
Okay.
if you go there, the interior is quaint. Definitely has a mustiness to it, almost as if books had been lingering in the place for some time and have kind of gained a scent. You hear kind of a clangor of metal as you kind of get into the entrance, and then you hear a "Welcome, devout followers of order." And then you see kind of out of the shadows come a dragonborn. She appears to be wielding a glaive with a very kind of ornate dragon's head underneath the blade.
Ooh,
Um,
that's
she
fancy.
does not have the symbol of Octavius on her chest, but instead bears a symbol of a different entity, which those who trained in religion would know is the dragon god. You actually, everyone in this group would know is the symbol of the dragon god. One massive dragon kind of above, 5 smaller dragons underneath, a breaking of the world beneath it. She looks to you and says, "How can I help you, Order Seekers?"
What is the alignment of this god whose symbol she bears?
There is no alignment for Soland, and it's not technically a god.
I'm sorry. I
It is a
don't mean
power.
like. Okay, I don't mean alignment with a capital A. I mean more like demeanor.
Oh, I understand what you mean, and I mean to say Soland has no alignment in a capital sense or a non-capital sense, since Soland is just the entity that is basically the forebear of all dragonkind. It's kind of
I got
hard
you.
to be a set one thing if you are all of the things.
Yeah.
Fair. I get you now.
So yeah, she could be evil, or she could be cool, or she could be neutral. Who knows?
Or
Well,
she could be all of
Since
it.
she seems to be
Exactly.
sitting inside of an Octavian church, and she specifically was denoting order as the first topic of conversation, you assume she's at least some form of lawful.
Everyone's just gonna be like, "Hail!"
Hail. Ah, holy
Yeah,
swordsman.
when she says, "What can I do for you, like followers of order?" and like Hezrod is completely oblivious and is just looking around like she wasn't talking to him.
A holy swordsman. You come here seeking quests?
No. We've come in question for the recently missing children.
Ah, I know nothing of it.
No, that's not actually what we mean. And she holds up the arrow and says, "We found a scene of a crime. 2 of the children were kidnapped, and Spike managed to escape. And now we're trying to find him.
Okay.
But you see," and she holds up the arrowhead specifically, there's a specific order that took them, and I don't know what they wanted to do with them, but perhaps you have some knowledge of these kind of, and she turns to Golradir. What did you call them? Dark elves? Or what?
Winter elves. What were they? Hariv?
The Hariv
Enclave?
Enclave is on the southern coast of the shores. We don't deal with them much. The reason for it is because, unlike most elvish enclaves, they don't really move about too much. They stay there on the southern coast of the Blackavon. It would seem that they have their own desires to maintain a territorial nature. We haven't encountered them much, but it's not uncommon for us to see their wares. Some folks will travel through there and trade with the Hariv elves for fine goods. It seems that these arrows must have been acquired in such a fashion. What of
Oh, sorry.
what of this order you mentioned? You don't mean that you are saying that the Hariv came up this far north and abducted children, are you?
Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying.
Highly unlikely. In all honesty,
Hezrod,
the Hariv are hunters. Children pose no threat or sport.
Oh, yeah, she gestures to Hezrod.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, Hezrod was going to kind of point to Golradir's holy symbol and say, "Can I see that?"
Hands it over.
So he
With
Hezrod takes it and
nervously.
he holds Golradir's holy symbol upside down, and he says,
On the island, I found a man wearing this symbol. A man, not an elf. A man.
Death cults. Now that's a bit more likely for abducting children. There's been reports of death cults all throughout Nock and apparently abroad now that have been taking up all sorts of living folk. Age has not been a concern. They're sacrificing them to some entity known as Gulthias. Appears to be living up in the Nightfang Pass. A vampire.
Ah, fuck.
That guy.
Oh, undead.
Guy.
Ah.
Wait,
Sorry, where did
Gulthias.
you say they were again? You said north.
East.
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 You kind of pull out your map to kind of get an idea, because the words Nightfang Pass are familiar, because it was one of the things that you free wrote on your stuff when you checked out the Cool Kids maps in Manus.
Yeah,
Nightfang
it's
Pass.
northwest of Ornamouth. Ornamouth. Wait,
Yep. Autumn.
Mm.
Ornamouth. So it's like directly east of us.
Knowing that it's been 2 days, Fiona will do like the mental math and say, "Is there any way we could get there before they've already done the horrible sacrifice?"
Are you capable of traversing through the astral plane? Or perhaps summoning shadow beneath you to warp through the realm of the dead and walk beyond into the other portions of the material?
I don't know, but I've never tried.
Then probably
Red-
not.
A boat or a horse or something. But yes, that would also be great.
I can't do it. I was asking if you could, because if you could, then you probably could cut them off. But if not, if that's where they're headed, then yeah, you're
Those
fucked.
children are probably
We're
dead.
2 days behind. we're going to be at best 2 days behind, if not more.
Mm.
Yes.
It's more likely the cultists that you're seeking aren't traveling across land with a child in tow. It's more likely that they're going to do their sacrifices in their own kind of sanctified places. The people of Nock didn't travel to Nightfang Pass, otherwise the Sereda would have just blocked them. It is a bunch of cults underneath the city that have been performing sacrifices to this Gulthias.
Sorry, underneath the Nightfang City? Or
Underneath Nock.
Knock.
Knock. Okay.
Yeah, they're like tunnels and stuff, and subterranean places.
Mm-hmm.
Knock.
Hezrod asked her if there's any other dangerous entities like Gulthias that we should be aware of.
Yes.
Like Gulthias? I don't think so. I know there's
No, just like any other threats in the area generally.
a necromancer that sailed Sifard's Pass not too long ago.
Right.
And,
What was that? What was that for?
Service of a demon prince, the demon prince of lust, I think.
Oh shit!
Looks
God
at
damn it,
Avram.
Avram! God damn it!
Is it safe to say we all look at Avron?
There was
Everyone's gonna get a little upset. He's gonna be like, I took care of her!
recent reports of
Really? No.
one of the 9 bastards being unleashed upon the lands north of here. I'm not terribly concerned because it's highly unlikely that that's true.
Looks
Nine
Eric.
bastards?
Truly, that would be ridiculous.
What do you mean, 9 bastards?
The 9 bastards, the abominations, the beings that were born before the powers were born, children of the warring triumvirate that were seen as failures or follies, discarded by the triumvirate in the early days.
I have a question about that. If, let's say, hypothetically, if one of the 9 bastards were to be released, how would one put it back?
One would not, unless one were able to do great deeds or bring forth the Great Order themselves.
I see. Is there any way, hypothetically, to kill one of the 9 bastards?
No.
I see. Okay.
You gonna be okay over there?
Any other questions?
You said Holy Quest, yes?
Yes.
No more quests for you.
You,
No, yes, Everett, you are cut off.
The Church of Octavius has need of someone who's capable of standing against an ordeal.
I see. What exactly would this ordeal entail?
There are 2 dragons fighting along the northern road, making it
I see.
nigh impossible for anyone to travel about. Some of our
Yeah.
patrols have gone missing in the near fallen foe to the west, and a couple of merchants were reported destroyed on the road up towards Stone Tooth. A black dragon resides there in Stone Tooth, and the fire
And
figure
there's
to the
a
west,
red
red dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've came across their destructive wake.
One of them must die. Their fighting spills out
Not
into
both
the
of them.
lands. If you wish to kill both, I suppose it wouldn't be looked down upon, but if one is killed, then that would be sufficient, because then they can't fight amongst themselves.
That is true.
Hezrod's
Well,
just standing in the
I don't-
background. And she says dragons, and he like perks up and starts paying attention, and then she's like describing all these atrocities and destruction, and like, and you could go fight them, and he's like, yeah, I want to witness these creatures of destruction.
Hezrod!
And
What?
I don't think we're currently
Dragons?
capable of such feats.
Two dragons?
Yes,
Not,
there are
not
2
just one,
dragons.
but 2?
There are 2.
We need
How
to
do
go
you-
see them.
How do you feel
are
about
they?
going up against the forces of chaos and destruction?
Is that not him?
He's already heading for the door.
He's ready to beat some dragons.
He doesn't even know where they are.
Wait!
You're like Hezrod, how do you feel about this? And you like slowly turn and look over your shoulder, and his like back is halfway to the door. Like,
It's like, well,
He's
you
ready.
best wait up because I don't think we're ready to take on these magnificent beasts of just death and destruction.
yeah, he's like, fuck your kids. Like he's forgotten about them.
To be fair, most likely those children are dead.
Well, at
if
least
we're
2
2
of
days
them.
behind them. But there is also a good chance that they are within the old stone.
At least
At
one.
least Spike.
But just check it out.
I believe we
And
should go.
I believe
to
that's
the
what we're
old stone.
eventually going to do.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe today we should.
Do you have any other questions for the priestess?
Does she have any wine?
No, I do not. I do have some potions available for people who are working with House Sarada. And if I understand correctly, this holy swordsman was quintessential in helping clear the tower.
I mean, yes, he was.
We
Yeah.
were all.
Potions
we were
are
all
always
there.
helpful.
We
So
were all
here's-
there.
I
Here's
can
the
afford
bargain.
you this many.
Pulls out a small wooden like chest and sets it out on the counter near where she's at, or altar near where she's at. Opens it up, and there are 3 bottles of healing potion.
Oh, nice.
You can have them. Enjoy.
Oh.
Good luck on
Thank
finding
you.
kids or killing dragons. Whichever. If you do go and attempt to fight the dragons, before you leave, please stop in here, and I will grant you a blessing. I will purify you and make sure you are ready to engage the children of Saland
Thank you.
properly.
Well, that sounds exciting.
Thank you, priestess.
Of course.
Just how does anybody have a rough estimate of how old these dragons are?
Old.
You could ask her.
That's what I'm doing. I'm
Old as shit.
saying this. I'm saying this out loud in character.
Based on their skirmishes, they're very young. Not wormlings, by no stretch, but they are not full-on adults. They haven't lived a century or more.
That's what. Oh, okay, never mind.
Most-
I was thinking they were. I was
Wobbling.
thinking they're like adult dragons. No, they're only young dragons. We
Most
might
adult
stand a
dragons,
chance.
most adult dragons have skirmished far enough
into other dragons' lands to realize there's no point in it. It is folly, and they quit doing it, and they kill on their lands, which is fine, acceptable, as long as it's done in a way that doesn't spill out into reckless and pointless wanton destruction. If you kill a farm filled with cows and devour your necessity for meat consumption, that's fine. Okay, whatever. Expected from a dragon. But if you're killing merchants for no reason, silk merchants even,
Silk merchants.
Do
you
you
can't eat
believe,
silk?
You can't. You just wear it.
Priestess? Do you believe myself and this party have a chance
Sure.
at killing these dragons?
Yeah, why not?
Of course, I just look at everyone. Of course, she's gonna say we do.
Everyone's got
We
a
don't.
chance.
How likely that?
Even if it's 2%.
Exactly. We have a
Look at
chance.
that
Is it a
cat.
very good chance? I don't think so.
If the fortunes
Oh.
favor you, I mean, you might even be able to kill it with one blow.
Fiona's gonna ask,
So you said, back to the people who are killing children, you said that they're in Knock and
No.
in
They're all over.
Night-
They're killing kids. Well, not kids. They're killing people, not just kids. Sorry. There were reports
How'd the
that
kids?
there were some
they're-
inside of the magic district in Knock. I recall hearing. I don't know if there's been any other reports, but if you're saying that you found a dead one, then I guess we have them out this way. Where they would be, I would not be able to tell you. There are plenty of hidey holes throughout the town, and that might prove to be an effort that is worth reporting to the City Watch. But it's highly unlikely that they're traveling. House Serra's Granite Guard would be wary and aware if anyone was popping out of the town's underbelly and stealing kids. Also, you said, where did you find this cultist?
On the island.
On the islands where the stones are.
So it's more likely they're probably at some other part of the Black Avon Lake, probably to the west or maybe, northish from here. Not directly near or close to this place, but somewhere hidden away. There are a couple of areas that could be found, cliffs, small little tunnelways and spillways that kind of dot the inlet near the Firefinger.
Priestess.
Mm.
There was a creature. On our way here, we found a creature sort of almost like a cat. Or a large tiger. It had multiple tails.
The Shadow
You mean
Cat.
the
Yes.
the displacer beast?
Well, everyone doesn't know what that
Well,
is.
wait, no. What would we call? No, we wouldn't know it's called that, would we?
Displacer beast.
No.
You would. Eric, yeah, you would. know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
So Eric, I'm just like, yeah, the displacer beast.
Okay, well, that. Do you have any idea on how to kill that displacer beast?
Yeah,
Same way you would any other big cat.
with
The only
a
difference is have fun hitting it.
with a sword.
I see.
Holy swordsman.
There. Yeah.
I was
I'm
looking
assuming
for more.
Kind of leans over
Specific.
to
There's
Golradier and kind of says, in Elvish,
He's a big bunch of dumb, isn't he?
Fiona
A
laughs.
little bit, but
Eric.
And then-
I think
we keep him around.
everybody
Eric
understands.
laughs too.
But
Yeah.
he kind of looks at you, Golradier, and says,
That's fine.
and then in common says,
May the light of Octavius guide you on your quest to defeat the dragon and the Shadow Cat.
Thank you, priestess. I will leave now.
"Do you speak
I will
Elvish?
walk out the door.
Do you speak Elvish?"
No,
Okay,
I
good.
don't.
Perfect.
No. Yeah.
So everyone knows this, and everyone just like smiles and nods, and everyone's like, "What?"
Making fun of somebody in Elvish is only satisfying if only most of the party understands.
All of you. Fuck all of you.
If you exit
You know
back
what?
out into the town,
I mean,
go.
you literally got sent us halfway across the land.
You literally sent us like more than half.
the potions of
Anyways.
healing that you were granted, you'll note one of them is sizably different than the other two.
Mhm.
And you would recognize that it is a potion of greater healing instead of a potion of healing.
Nice.
Ooh.
I pass them all to Golradier?
The healer,
Yeah.
Okay. And then where?
Healer.
Old Stone.
Okay.
Old Stone.
All right. Any other things that you want to do before you head that way? Sounds like no.
Nope.
As you
I'm
breach,
just debating, do you want to go 6A or 6C?
well, as you breach the northern kind of passageway, you'll note that the Granite Guard are present there. Looks like they're kind of holed up in that small little house off to the north of it. That was a shift ping. That was a shift ping. Why are you not moving on the screen, silly goose? There it goes. So yeah, you would note that the Granite Guard are kind of present. Looks like they have a small little detachment there that are kind of watching that northern gate, but they open it to you and allow you passage out if you desire it. You'll note that there are kind of 3 mounds and 2 forts. Both of the forts look like they are in disrepair, absolutely ruins, with the forest kind of growing into them, and the mounds are kind of flat at the top, mesa-like. You can't really see from your vantage point what's atop them or anything. But yeah, 6A, 6B, or 6C. Which of the 3 spots would you like to investigate first?
Or going reverse alphabetical
See,
or
I'll-
alphabetical?
I was thinking reverse alphabetical 6BA. CBA, I should say.
Okay.
2C!
All right.
So
2C
guys
or not
would've found-
2C?
you would have found Hezrod outside harassing anybody who crossed his path, yelling at them, "Where are the dragons?"
Sure. Very
I just
confused.
grabbed heads out and pulled him out. I was like, no dragons, not now.
Very confused looks. When you get to the ruins here, you would note that they are absolutely just disrepair. There are roots of the trees around kind of growing through the lower portions. Looks like the foundational structure is kind of warped in a sense to kind of make the entirety of the remnants of the place kind of lean a bit. You'd also notice that all throughout the bottom floor, there are kind of holes that have been broken out of the stone or kind of like lanced into the stone that look like something kind of burned away the rock or burned a hole through the rock. And as you're investigating, you do see that there's kind of like an old stone path that kind of runs out of the fort to the mesa's base. And at the base of the mesa, or kind of like rocky, flat top, at the base of it, you see a kind of stone structure, like a portal that's open, but it looks like there's shards of wood that have kind of like dropped to the sides of it, as if something broke the wood barrier that was holding it closed. And as you kind of inspect those pieces of wood, you'll know that they are burned. It looks like something melted the wood, like ate through the wood like an acid.
So this is
Okay.
I was getting ready to ask, is this all acid? This is all acid.
Yeah. You'd also note the stones that you're walking on looked like they've been kind of cleaned, like recently. Looks like something kind of just, cleaned them very soundly. And there are parts of the stone around that are also kind of just devoid of dust and debris, like someone kind of polished them or acid washed them.
Oh, out of
Any-
character, I think I might know what this is, but in character, I wouldn't have a damn clue.
Any,
Can Avron roll survival to see what
Yeah.
creature does this?
Well, survival, no. Nature
Yeah.
would be the rule.
Oh, can I do that?
If you have nature trained, yeah.
Damn, no.
Oh,
Do I?
well,
No.
yeah. Hezrod does.
Okay. As you're kind of
Do it,
Oh.
Ezra.
Hezrod is nature.
being told about the situation, you can make a nature check if you like.
Yeah, he's like an onion. He's got layers.
So it's not a very common thing with a tenant. It's not a very common thing in underwater environs. So you're not sure what it is. It's definitely something that's very acidic, though.
Is there any sort of smells, and does it look like any of the acid is fresh?
Not outside. There's no acid. There isn't any acid present. Just the remnants of what acid would
Okay.
do.
The
I got you.
damage.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But there is an open portal way that goes into the base of the mountain. It looks like there's a stairway that descends into the mountain. And looking at the steps, they look like they're kind of clean, but at some parts it looks like there's kind of like green staining on the stone as well. Oh, sorry.
Ezra-
Hold on.
Cast
Well-
cast light on the head of his axe.
Okay.
Kind of marches into the darkness.
Okay. Well, understanding that apparently a lot of the floor has been clean. Like in the places that are dirty, can I see if I can find tracks that mirror that of spikes?
Looking around, it doesn't look like there are any tracks, but you would also notice it doesn't look like there's any kind of impressionable dirt. Like, if there was kind of a part where a footprint would be left, it'd be on kind of like cobblestone or rock. Like they wouldn't kind of move outside of like the pathways because it's hard to do so. But you would have noted too that if something was walking across the stone, you might be able to get a faint idea of it if every trace of it hadn't been burnt away.
That's where I was like trying to specify the whole like in places that aren't clean. Because obviously, if it's clean, you ain't finding shit.
Yeah, not a damn thing.
Not a damn thing.
Do you wish to descend into the stairway? And it's about 10 foot wide, continues down for some time, and it does look like there's kind of like scoring on the stones steps, but occasionally you can see like little bits of vegetation that seem to be growing kind of on the walls and such, just down the hole.
I'm gonna follow Hezrod down.
Okay, we got 10 folks moving, or we got 5 folks moving on a 10 foot wide path. Avran, Hezrod front. Right behind Hezrod is Eric. Right behind Avran is Gorodir. Right behind Eric is Fiona. Sound good?
Yeah. Fiona
Yes.
will activate her detect magic eyes
Okay.
just to see if there's anything suspicious.
What's the emanation for detect magic, by the way?
30?
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put an aura on you, just for both of our maintenance sake. That aura will be blue. And C. Okay.
And because it's actually important to my AC, I have my bow out and not the parrying dagger.
All right. So moving down.
My AC should be correct
Let's
anyways.
see. Immediately inside of the chamber, after about 100 feet, you get down to a point where it comes to a landing. You can see a couple of the ferns and vegetation I mentioned and the green scoring I had mentioned as well. Up ahead, on the ground, you can see what looks like a person. Somewhere around, 5.5, maybe 5 and, 3/4 feet tall. Looks like their right leg has been burnt off, and a part of it kind of lingers behind them. They appear to be wearing a decent-looking suit of plate armor, though in disrepair because of the burning. There's a helmet that's thrown to the ground in front of them, revealing that they are, a female, kind of like reddish-brown hair, very kind of cold look on their face, kind of staring out with kind of pale blue eyes. It's very ghastly. There's a shield next to them. There doesn't appear to be a weapon present on the ground anywhere near them, though. And it looks like that entire leg, armor included, has basically just been devoured or digested.
Like not even a bone.
Yep. Up beyond that, you can see a pit. You can't really see into the pit right now. I know on the map you can see into what's in the pit, but at this point you cannot see what is in the pit. But there is kind of a faint sound of like bubbling.
Yum.
From the pit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to be safe, Fiona is going to reach into that person's mind and ask, "Hello, we're here to help. Is it safe to talk?"
Dead.
Oh shit.
They have no leg.
Although I think for funny's sake, it's kind of like a when the phone is disconnected, like.
God.
Yeah.
If you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again.
The number you
number-
were trying to
the
reach
brain-
has been disconnected or
Oh,
out
no,
of service.
Oh no, but
No, the brain you are calling is currently not in service.
it's the eyes voice, the customer service voice.
Yeah.
Perfect. But Avran, you kind of looked out to it. The shield looks nice. The helmet looks pretty good condition. The plate armor, there's parts of it that are kind of just missing, scalded off from acidic burns. It looks like whatever burnt this woman has also burnt her pelvis, kind of right side, inside of the armor, and it's almost like it's kind of just oozed out of the armor. She smells very dead.
Can I pull her, like the ooze or whatever is coming out of her?
There's nothing coming out of her. It's like there's a remnant of acid and it's still there, lingering.
Oh.
And it looks like all of the parts that it was touching or still are touching are digesting.
Can I, like, shake it off of her?
If you kind of pick her up and kind of move her away and start moving her, she starts making a very metallic sound, which kind of echoes throughout the chamber. At that point, you kind of, are focused on that. And Golradier, do you move up to investigate this dead person as well?
Yes.
With your passive perception, you actually see something across the way. Over here, you see movement, kind of a shadowy figure. And then you see what appears to be a young face.
Hezrod has light on him.
Yeah, that's fine. You see what appears to be a young face, kind of looking in your direction. Blonde hair, pale face, kind of looking out in your direction. I'm going to go ahead and switch your lighting up. Hold on a second. There we go. Got.
Oh, the light can be colored as you like?
Oh shit! Apparently, I'm emitting light.
It's going to be like a
What's wrong?
watery blue. It's like what light looks like.
No,
when it's
I thought the goggles
Oh.
went to, or are they on Avran or Eric?
No, they're
Avron.
on Avron. I had Darkson 1 because of my
They're
a
actually-
spell.
Actually,
there we
on
go.
Fiona, because she took them back at the end of it. So
Yeah.
she
Oh, you
turns
took it
to
back.
everyone and
Okay,
said, who
yeah,
wants
yeah.
them?
I thought
Whoever
I could
needs
see-
them should take them.
Yeah, I thought I could see because of Hezrod's light, but no, I see because I was still had dark vision from my spell.
I'm trying to get the bright light emitting. Bear with me here.
Mhm.
I'd say give it,
I feel like it should be Abram.
I can just see in the dark.
Yeah.
Avron.
I'd say
Well-
give it to the ranger, because
You're good.
everyone can also cast light on his weapon.
I could just, but I can cast dark vision if I need to.
Okay,
That's a
fuck
good
it.
point.
I'll take it. Shit. I'll take the goggles.
I'll snap dark vision back on Eric then, if you're casting it. Are you
And the
casting
dark
it?
vision.
Eric?
Well, no, Hezrod casts light,
Okay, then you're fine.
so I don't need dark
The-
vision.
Okay,
Hezrod's light
so we're
should
all
be enough
settled
for
on the
me.
light situation. Like I said, you see a blonde-haired young boy kind of peeking around the corner across the way. Do you see where I'm pinging?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and it's just Golradier that sees that, by the way.
Yes.
Yes.
Meanwhile, shaking of the armor. Also, Golradier with your passive perception and Hezrod with the same passive perception. It appears that once the shaking of the armor starts from Avran, the burbling sound becomes a bit more bubbly. And Fiona, looking at Avran's situation, you would note that the armor that's kind of like being shaken, it doesn't look like Avran's looking at it, but on the chest you see kind of a blackened symbol that appears to be an upside down crescent moon with a star pointed down.
So
Catch.
Okay.
Meow.
We
So
see a
that's
cool
the-
You know,
other,
yell at
like,
Avran in his head. Stop it! Just stop touching it.
What?
Put it down. Put it down.
Satan! I don't allow you in my mind.
Are you speaking out loud, Avran?
No.
Okay.
I'm
Then-
saying that in my mind.
Okay.
Fiona just visibly rolls her eyes and moves to stand in front so she can detect if there's any magic coming off this ooze stuff.
Well, you can't see the
Pit.
ooze. It's just a pit.
pit.
It's actually a descent down into a hole. So if you want to get
Oh,
close
did
enough
you,
to...
did you say something was kind of bubbling though?
Yeah, it's
We heard
inside of the
bubbling.
pit. You're hearing
We
it.
heard
Oh, I
the
see, I see.
bubbling. We hear it.
we hear
I see.
bubbly.
Yeah.
We hear.
She will then step a bit more forward then to see if
Okay.
she can get a look kind of.
As you approach, Golradier, you note that the boy immediately kind of moves back into the shadows around the corner.
Mm.
Oh my gosh, will you stop it, you baddie?
Boy, come here,
He wants to be a baddie.
As Fiona moves up around this ooze stuff, Hezrod's gonna kind of ready himself to attack anything that shows up.
Okay.
Atreus, come here, boy.
No.
I got the reference the first time, and you just went like full send.
And then the
God.
cat was like, no.
Yeah.
Me?
No. Fiona, do you move up to see into the pit?
Yes.
Okay.
Please don't get pushed in.
As you kind of make your way up, the bubbling kind of stops, goes silent. Everything becomes kind of still for a second. Just quiet.
Does Avern hear the bubbling stop?
Yeah. Fiona, you hear it stop too, and as you kind of try to look out over the edge, you then hear this kind of loud sound as the ooze pops out of the thing and splotches into four massive kind of blobs. This would be right about when you're here. Okay?
That's so rude.
And bear with me here.
Is Avron
I
fast
hit
enough
it.
to just pull her away?
Goddamn ooze.
If you moved right behind her, you can make a dexterity saving throw to pull her behind you. I'll allow that.
Okay, thank you.
Can I attack it?
Oh,
One of
just
them?
ooze.
Nope, I got a 5.
Nope.
You're fucked.
All right. So,
Fucked,
but
Fiona.
because of your statement and your attempt, you would be right behind her. I'll say
Okay,
that.
that's fair.
Okay. Let's see.
Damn, those
Do I-
things are huge.
Do I get the chance to attack one of these things?
No, we're starting a
On your
combat.
turn.
Initiative.
Did you ready in action?
Yeah, I was ready to. I said I was ready to attack anything that shows up.
Oh yeah, you did say that.
I'm gonna say since you weren't in a position.
Sorry, I felt like it was a bit more colorful than just say I ready my action to attack.
I'm gonna say since the positional situation is, I'm just readying to attack was pretty vague.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Are they coming out of this pit?
Yeah, they're splooshing out.
Oh, okay.
It's
Sorry.
literally like there's no
That's
surprise
fine.
round for
Sorry,
them
I
either.
thought-
It's
No,
just
that's
gonna go
totally
right
fine.
to the fight.
That would have been my bad. I thought you were talking about this little spot on the ground.
No,
there.
no. They're all the way
That's
over
the
here.
dead person.
Yeah. So again,
Well, it's still kind of dark.
yeah.
Like I don't
Weapons
know.
drawn, great. And into the fight. And
Into the thick of it.
onto
totally
the
fine.
bad cats being
throw
scooped
some
up into
initiative.
arms and held throughout the entirety of this fight.
Kitty!
Again,
Then
the
not
white void,
Atreus.
the white void demands cuddles.
Battle support.
yeah.
Look at the baby.
Oh, and Nalen's coming up here
Jesus.
too. Jeez Louise.
Oh no.
Pick
The
them both
two
up.
Void, the two
Oh no, that's
No,
not
they
gonna
don't
work.
like
They hate
each
each
other.
other.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll say the two void kitties wants cuddles.
Oh,
Oh.
fuck yeah! This is about to be fucking awesome.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
already
look at that
growling because I
boy.
smell like him. Okay, so we're moving into the fights. Everybody rolled?
yes.
Yeah.
Eric, your dex. What's your dex?
3.
Okay, yeah, yours is higher.
Okay. Hezrod pushes past everybody. Is there a way I can cast a fireball to catch all 4 of them?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Cool.
Fireball.
You should have a
Fireball!
template you can just drop on the map to give you a perfect
Oh.
field.
Sorry, I don't have a. My mouse isn't handy.
Oh, hold on then. Shiro, please stop it, okay?
He's
Yeah.
like, I refuse.
Hold on.
Oh,
I'm gonna
there
deal
it
with
is.
this.
Fireball is a fuckload bigger than I thought it was. Oh my Jesus.
20-foot radius.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I know. Why do you think
That's
Absolutely.
huge.
like
No, it's
fireball is
fine.
like
Bear
why do
with
you
me.
think it's like the
Kill.
best spell ever? Is
You
it third level?
may. You
So I'm
may
gonna cast
or
Fireball
may
at
not.
3rd level, but I'm also going to do Annihilating Edict.
You may or may not kill the boy.
You think he cares?
True.
The boy ran away.
It's true too.
I hope so.
He did.
So
He did.
You guys
Well-
don't even know about the boy. I haven't even told you about the boy
That's
yet.
true. Okay,
But
yes,
didn't know, but
Avram
didn't we all
doesn't
see
know.
it?
No,
No.
only I saw it.
Yeah, only Golridir. He has the highest passive perception.
Oh, I assume we all seen it because
Oh my
he was in
gosh.
the light.
No.
When you kept saying boy, I thought you were talking about the cat.
No.
he was well, I mean, he
I
sort
was
of
like,
was.
we've
but he
all
was-
seen the boy. He was right there.
Okay.
But have you seen the boy in person?
All right, Hezrod, you're casting Fireball, correct?
Yes.
I'm casting Fireball and using Annihilating Edict.
Okay. So
Take
15
5.
damage.
It does.
Extra.
Yeah. Hezrod takes 15 damage.
Jesus.
It does. No. This one. Okay. So Hezrod takes 15 damage. The spell does maximum damage. Damage
right.
can't be reduced or prevented.
Ignores
Ignores immunity, resistance of objects or structures,
Right.
and deals double damage to objects.
So
So you're looking at a DC 14.
Your damage,
DC
the damage to
14.
you can't be reduced or prevented.
Oh.
wait,
But the spell deals maximum damage,
Correct.
ignores immunity. Yeah. So that's.
Only for objects, not for creatures.
I got you.
Yeah.
so if you do that spell's damage.
It just does maximum damage. That's all it's doing.
And it ignores immunities and resistance of objects and structure or of
These
objects
are
and structures.
creatures,
yeah.
so we're gonna.
But also, this is a great ability for leveling buildings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for now, it's just doing max damage to these 4.
Yeah,
Slime
absolutely.
Yeah, so 48.
So
So-
your channel divinity goes off. You watch as the fireball hits into the center of the room, detonates. Basically, the flames coming very close to Fiona's face. Just a rush of hot air bursting out. A very quick smell of kind of like an acrid kind of like wafting gas. And you watch as all of the puddles just kind of and dissipate. Fight's over.
GG!
We won!
Hey!
See? Fireball!
Let's
What
change
is
the music back
Ezra
to.
finishes his turn by just going, ah! Ah! Ah!
And I think that is that is the perfect example of why Fireball is the answer to everything.
It's a good spell.
Mm.
Especially if you can do that shit to and just like max damage.
Yeah, channel divinity on it. It's pretty solid. Okay.
One spell and a channel divinity.
Fight's over. There is a puddle of liquid inside. Yeah, if you move into the room, you would note too, there's the passageway that the boy was in, off to the north side, or the other side. And then there's a portcullis on the south side that seems to be shut, that moves into a 5-foot hallway that is currently unattainable. There does not appear to be any mechanism that you can see in this main chamber that would be for the portcullis.
Can I light a torch and just toss it down this hole?
Yep. It falls in and very quickly just stops being lit. And it
Would
looks like
that
wood of
fireball
the torch is being ate
do-
up by the acid. Go ahead.
would that fireball have done any damage to like the surroundings?
No. It's stone, and yeah, fire doesn't seem to do anything. Like it cracks the stone a bit, it kind of blackens it out, but it doesn't break the structure.
There's more of that liquid down there.
Yeah, there's a shit ton of it. But it looks like this is not sentient or not alive.
Oh, okay.
It definitely burns the torch, though.
Yeah. I
Gotcha.
feel like I just threw a stick into an acid pit.
Yeah, that's exactly it. If you want to make an Arcana check to try and think and like suss out what's going on here, you might come up with something.
Well, is there anything magical coming out of it with my magic eyes?
Oh no.
Yeah. So at that point, she says to the group, "I'm pretty sure that's just a pit of acid, and unfortunately, I don't actually know how it became sentient." But at that, she kind of looks around at
Magic.
Golordir and says, "I really think that you should be in front again, since you're good at sussing out these horrifying situations."
I mean, that's fair. There was also a boy before the ooze came out.
Yeah, I
went
probably
that
should
way.
have considered
Wait,
the child
where?
before I cast a
What?
fireball.
You didn't see the child, to be fair.
Wait,
Yeah, I
wait,
didn't even
it was it the
think about it.
tiefling boy?
No, he was blonde.
Oh.
Um,
But well, it still could be a missing child. We should go find him, perhaps.
Yeah,
where did you say he disappeared to?
this way.
And
Everyone's gonna call out, "Boy! Where are you, boy?"
You see that as you kind of come into the small little cubby hole, that it's a dead end. On the floor, there appears to be a very massive kind of steel grate with some kind of, vegetation kind of growing around it. But the grate definitely looks like it's very heavy. Looks like it's made out of kind of like cast iron with kind of like an ornate patterning to it. There's kind of like the trailing of the weird green stuff around the area. But if the boy was in here, you definitely saw him. The only way he could have escaped this chamber is through that hole somehow. You don't see any mechanism for moving it or anything. And it definitely looks heavy. It might take some effort, even from Abrin.
go over there. What do your elf eyes see?
Grate on the floor. Well,
Yeah,
this is
balls
just
upward.
great.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Sorry. I had to.
You're not
Punch
actually
starting-
God and says,
Ha
Look, why you want to lift this grate? It's a heavy thing.
Your puns are grating on me.
Oh.
All right, Avran is just gonna jump headfirst into this grate and try to end
Wait, what?
himself like that.
It doesn't work.
There's an acid pit right
He's going
there.
Damn.
He's trying to pipeline the situation.
How about no? How about we stop? I mean,
No, I see. I think we should definitely go sewer where this is going.
Oh god.
if Hezred comes to help, I think him and Avran could lift this big boy up.
Try.
Oh, I think
Or
have a
no,
crowbar.
I'll no.
I will say this:
I'll walk
if you
up
look
and give
into the
Aaron a
hole
hand.
before you start lifting it, you'll notice that it's probably about a 60-foot drop. It looks like it
Oh.
drops onto a tile floor, and nearer to where the hole would descend to, on the south side of it and on the north side of it, you see 2 stone coffins. Looks like they are spattered with blood. Kind of nearby on the ground, you can see what appear to be like hand patternings of blood. Looks like someone kind of was crawling around with blood on their hands, leaving kind of patterns of it all over the floor below. But a rope could definitely work, and with this heavy grate, you could probably, tie it off to it. It should suffice. It is a very heavy grate.
So what if we had one of us on each side of it?
Yeah, if the two of you want to try and go for it, you can. You are able to kind of lift it up. There's no athletics check or anything needed here. It's mostly just a weight situation. But you pull it out of the hole and slide it off to the side.
Is there like a like any rocks or any loose anything on the ground? Just like a piece of whatever?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Any-
Hezron picks up a little rock, like a fist-sized rock. He casts light on it, and then he drops it down the hole.
Okay. Bink. It hits the ground. You would see that there's another pair of coffins kind of in the room looking down there. A number of alcoves that look like they have statues in them. There's like a break in the ground. Looks like something massive kind of slammed down. And there's like a pooling of water in that spot. There's lots of trailing blood all throughout the room. You hear, as you're kind of looking around and the light hits there, you hear footfalls kind of north of where you're at. So like down on the like low level below you, but north of there. Out of character, I'm gonna go ahead and just, if you want. Oh, sorry. The other thing you'd be able to see with that positioning is there looks like there's a stairway or a passageway kind of on the western side of the room, which you think might be attached to the portcullis hallway, perhaps, based on positioning.
So
Well, that
it sounded
sounds
like
a
we heard
better direction.
the feet running around below us.
Not running, just kind of moving. The
Yeah,
second the
there
light.
were little pitter patters going this way
Mhm.
below us, like north below us.
I got you.
The room beneath you is very open, by the way. It's a 60-foot drop, so the ceiling in there is like 50 feet.
I have a question. Oh, it's an extra 50 feet.
So there's 10 feet kind of floor that you're standing on, and then
Yeah.
50 feet below that is where the floor is. Yeah.
Got you. So from me to where my rock landed is 60 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. Hezrod cast Shatter on the rock.
Okay.
But why though?
The rock
So centered,
breaks.
Centered on. No, it's centered on the rock.
Yeah, the rock breaks. And you also watch as like the crypts near it kind of crack in a bit. The floor cracks a little bit. Everything kind of just shatters as there's kind of like a sound that slams into the ground.
So he just throws that spell down the hole, and like a half second later, you hear this explosion like a grenade just went off down there. And then he kind of like stares for a moment,
Nothing different.
just kind of waits to see if he sees or hears anything. Nothing?
Nothing.
DM.
Okay, then he pulls out his rope and he ties it around he pulls out Eric's rope, ties it around his waist, and then ties the other end to Avran.
Ooh, although that does remind me.
Okay. Takes about 5 feet worth of rope to tie someone off. So we're looking at a 40-foot connection between the two of you.
That's
Wait,
fine.
wait. Hold on. DM.
Yeah.
can Avron look for, like, in this little section,
hmm
to see if there are any, like, loose stone or
Plenty of loose bits
just
now because he just shattered a shit ton of it.
no, where we are,
Oh,
like
okay.
above the grate, in this little corridor that we're in.
Yeah,
Are there any bits of loose stone either on the
Sure.
wall? What, like little rocks or?
yeah. Are you looking for something specific, or just like a piece
Yeah,
of
yeah.
rock?
I'm looking for depressed rocks.
Oh, are you looking for some sort of like trap or like
Yes.
secret door? So if
Yes.
Goradir's over there would have been a roll for it. There's no secret nonsense.
Okay. Got you.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically Hezrod was just like clearing the way, just be like, hey, if anything's down there, I'm just gonna like shock it real quick. And now that it doesn't seem like anything's crying out in pain or anger, now he's like, okay, cool, like we'll lower ourselves down. Before
Okay.
he goes down, he's gonna grab another rock and cast light on that one, and then drop that one.
No, the one
So
you
at least he's
the
got-
one you shattered, one piece of it's still light down there.
Oh.
Like,
Cool, excellent, and not just like bits and pieces of light everywhere.
no,
I
it,
will-
it would stay
I will
on
hold
one
him.
section of it.
I will hold the rope so he doesn't fall to his death.
Right. And then
So-
I would basically get to about, I mean, I have another 40 feet of rope. We could like kind of tie them together, make a piece that's long enough to get me all the way down there.
Yeah, just jump down there.
Yeah.
I got
so,
you.
Yeah. So basically
Oh.
I tie myself off to Avran. Avran starts feeding me rope and I start crawling down the tunnel.
Okay.
And
Which
Two muscle
direction were the
boys.
stairs again?
you think they're down this way?
They're
think
around.
that
They're around
they're-
the way. Yeah, there's a portcullis that kind of
Okay.
blocks and bars your passage.
Oh, it blocks our passage?
Mm-hmm.
Never mind. But either way, well, it seems right. At this point, I'll be taking the pack since the other two are going to go spelunking.
Sure. And as you kind of look down this hallway for the first time, at the end of the hallway, you see a lever. It appears that the lever is locked in the up position. And it appears to be the only mechanism that you can see that's in this chamber or any of the chambers you've seen before. It does look like there's a small little divot off to the right. Looks like it might go into a hallway or a stairwell to the right, down that. The way you're looking at it would be the right. On the map, it's the left.
Yeah. How much space is there between the bars?
There's a decent amount of space. If you had a small creature, it could pass through, but a medium-sized creature cannot.
That is. And
Fiona
that is-
goes to pull the lever down.
The lever's on the other side of the bars.
Oh no. Okay, let me see
Hold
if
up,
there's like,
Let me just double check something. Is it small or medium? I can't remember.
And
I think that
Avran,
one
are,
is medium.
are you
You gonna summon a
allowing
monkey?
Hezrod to descend down into the hole and lowering him down?
Yes,
Okay.
indeed.
Fuck yeah. Because that's what heroes do.
Fish on a stick.
I'm going to quickly arrange it. So you're looking down the hole, and Chad,
Chad is down the hole.
and you are looking down it.
I'm going in.
Well,
Okay, so real quick before we get to you guys, I did throw you a map, so there's some things that are present there. Don't comment on anything until we get to
Mhm.
that part. Back
Got
to the
it.
stairs, though. There's a lever that's in the up position. The portcullis is down. It looks like it's a wooden lever, kind of settled inside of a bit of machinery, and it's a distance away from you. I would say,
Yeah.
okay.
You said that
Okay.
it's like
yeah, it's on that wall, so it would be 25 feet away.
Okay. Well, if neither one of you has do you have a way to get through this or activate the lever?
I mean, technically yes, but I don't think I want to waste a spell slot right now. So she's gonna just like sigh deeply and go to wards where the boys are doing
Alright.
their thing.
You're going
Well-
over there?
Yeah.
Well, at that point, I'm going to cast a summon beast because it's small, so it should, in theory, fit through the bars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It can
I'll do summon beast 4, and I'm assuming I'm also I'll do flying,
Okay.
and then just have it go and try and push the lever down.
And it's bestial spirit, right? I think is what they're called.
Bestial spirit.
Beast of the
You
Yeah,
could
sky.
also,
Yeah, and then
you could also do.
And you said
monkey.
it's what's your proficiency bonus?
mine is
You're level
3.
5, right?
Yeah, 3 proficiency.
Okay. I put him on the next screen, and I'll get you his character sheet in just a bit. But I'm going to just move everyone to the same thing. The lever goes up, the beast is able to push it up, no problem.
Okay. Comes back and just sits on my shoulder. It's the same sort of hawk thing, and okay.
All right.
Oh, and
Okay, don't comment on anything until we do descriptions. So the order of things is going to go pretty simply. As you're tying the rope off and everything, and having the set up in readiness to kind of descend down into the hole there. Beast of the sky. Yeah, that's right.
yeah, like yeah. It's like I think the only thing the Beast of the Sky does is it changes like his movement and feature, but I use that everything's from Bestial Spirit stat block.
Okay.
Actually, the Bestial Spirit stat block.
Oh, it's different. Beast
the
of the sky
Bestial
is different.
Spirit stat. Yeah, but no, it gives you the. It actually says inside of it the actual stats for.
So you
landing
already
and
you already
water.
have that character sheet that I gave you then, right?
Well, I don't know if I have the character sheet. I just searched it
Yeah,
up
I
in the
put it
compendium.
in your
But yeah, I remember now you did somewheres. You gotta find it.
spirit. Fucking summons. Okay, so everyone should be able to see as it goes. You walk up behind Avran. Avran has a rope tied to him. The rope descends down, and Hezrod is slowly being lowered into the hole. As you're being lowered, you can see the remnants of the shatter spell. There's bits of rock and cracks throughout the ground, also on the coffins that you're descending down to. You can see more signs of handprints. Looks like there's a big old patch of blood and a dead body over on the north side of the room, near an altar which has half of a dead body on top of it. Looks like it's been cut open and burnt all around its edges. It's very childlike sized. There are 2 candles. Looks like they are not currently lit. Yeah, there's a number of alcoves, a total of 8 that have statues in them. So far as yet, you can see that they're humanoid figures, but really can't get too much discerning details about them. One of the coffins appears to have been broken, shattered in a similar way. Well, more so on the northwest side there, the northwest coffin. There's a big crack in the ground directly north of you, and kind of a puddle kind of there. There's also what appears to be a door kind of over here on the southern side of the room. A lot of blood trailing to it as well. You see the child on the north side of the chamber there, and before you make it all the way down and get to a position where you can continue after the kid, he moves away from you, very scared looking, very like tepid. But before he moves away, he kind of whispers in this kind of quiet and very easy to hear, every little sound from room. He says, "Please help, my friends," and moves down the steps.
And we hear, or
Hezrod? Avran does not. Hezrod does. Yeah.
Okay. We hear he hears little pitter patters.
Yeah, that appears to be the kid moving away. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Hezrod kind of looks. Okay, so he sees at the far end of the room. You said it was the north end.
Yeah, it would have been over here-ish.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can't see that far.
Do you see the boy? You're pointing right at the boy.
Barely.
Yeah, he would have been over there.
Oh, that's me.
Okay, so that's the boy as he runs.
Mm-hmm. He's over there.
This is the altar where there's half a body.
There's 2 bodies, one on the steps in front of it, and one on it that looks like it is, half a body.
Okay, he does that kind of thing where you get somebody's attention by slapping him in the chest.
Okay, and as you
He does that to Avran, and
make
then he
football.
starts moving towards the altar.
As you make football, Eric and Golradier step out into the scene from the steps, and you would see the door directly in front of you, blood trailing to it, and all of the things I've described already.
I see nothing because I'm blind.
I will get you.
And
Everyone's
and
gonna
I did
shut down.
I did cast it on it earlier for it, but never really mentioned it. But I did cast Dark Vision. I do have that spell slot taken out.
Okay, good.
So I'm currently at 0 level 2 spells.
Everyone's gonna shout down. Are you okay?
Oh shit! I forgot Avran didn't come down with me.
I assume you
Yeah,
untied the
Avran-
rope before you started moving around.
Yeah, definitely.
that makes
He'd
sense.
untie the rope and he'd tell Avran to come on down. So Avran, if I was you, what I would do is I would tie that rope to the grate we pulled out, and then I would use that as like your sort of, you know.
I am far too heavy for that grate.
Eric is just going to yellow, or you can come down the stairs like the rest of us did.
Coming
Oh,
down the
Fiona.
stairs!
Also a
Hearing
good
that,
point.
Fiona curses and then walks back the other way to go down the stairs now that it's open.
We're gonna walk together.
Okay. We'll get to you two. And as you're walking, you get the rope back into it. It's now a 90-foot length of rope because it's tied off in the 85-foot length of rope since it's tied off in the middle.
That sounds good. Yeah.
Okay. But before you get there, Eric and Golradier, you enter the scene. You see Hezrod kind of moving towards an altar on the northwest side of the chamber. Yeah, what would you like to do?
Yeah. Well, move me, my beast spirit, and Tana. But can I, with my previous experience in in dealing with killing people, can I walk up? Can I see if I can tell how recent or how old these bloodstains are?
Sure. You would note that they are stains, and they could be very, very old. You're absolutely certain they're not fresh.
Okay.
The body that's laying there looks like it's been dead for a while. The one on the altar more so. Yeah, it's a horror show.
Well, also, if I'm actually doing that, I should actually be up there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like, well, this is definitely not a fresh kill.
Yeah. Hezrod would be inspecting he'd be inspecting the bodies, kind of seeing what killed them, what kind of state of dismemberment they're in, how they were dismembered,
Okay.
like anything unusual about the corpses.
Golradier, what are you doing?
Looking at the coffins, see if they glean anything.
Okay. There do look like there are markings on them, shields that have been kind of set in the centers of the coffins. And it does look like there are some markings. It does certainly have a strangeness to it, the stone. It almost looks like something bled all over them. But before that, it looks like they were very pristine, very clean. The only dirt you're kind of seeing kind of present here is that. Very, very strange to be sure. Make a perception roll, Golradier. Because of your facing, I can't say that it would be passive. Presumed facing.
24.
Damn, nailed it.
Okay. Avran and Fiona, you are descending the steps. It goes down one way and then comes onto a landing and then descends the other way. So during the first round of combat, you're moving as normal. During the second round of combat, you'll be moving at a normal pace without the expectation of there being a combat. And will arrive on the scene during the third round, realizing there's a combat, no longer being surprised or inactive.
What? Combat? What do you mean combat?
Okay.
If you are
Gotcha.
playing this game, please roll initiative.
I was just thinking, like, combat? What do you mean combat? I didn't see no combat.
Yay.
Until oh shit!
Fucking nailed it.
Wow.
I just need to remember something. Beatrice, it runs on my initiative, I think.
Hey, you guys
Probably
want to see a
runs
hack
off of
trick?
It
yours.
shares. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I don't gotta worry about myself because it runs off mine.
Okay. So, Golradier, are you facing north or south? You pinged the one on the south, so I just want to be sure.
Yeah, the south.
Okay.
Probably.
So then you would see the floor, the weird blood markings on the ground, start to become like oily or watery.
Oh shit.
And it seems like there's this liquid kind of running out of the door frame. You would then see
Kind
it
of
start to
this
kind
one.
of become snake-like and start moving towards you very stealthily, like intentionally so. But if you've ever seen the movie Abyss, it kind of moves with like a like physical water shape. And because you're facing that way, you don't see that the puddle itself has moved behind Eric and is now jumping behind him on initiative 21.
Oh no.
Again,
Wait, what?
Eric, you're surprised, so your turn passes without you doing anything. And then... So, Golridir, you are not surprised, so there's no advantage or boon or benefit that the creature will have in attacking you in this. Eric, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw. And you're doing so at disadvantage. And Golridir, I'd like for you to make a dexterity
20.
saving throw. And you're making this normal.
I rolled a 20 with this.
Okay.
And
You watch the creature kind of move out and are kind of wary and are about to kind of say something, but just as you do, it kind of lunges out at you, and it's kind of like forms kind of roils, and it slams onto you and very quickly kind of wraps around you. You feel its cold embrace, and you also feel this kind of like shivering kind of sensation kind of coming over you. You're familiar with necrotic damage. You absolutely recognize what it is. A preternatural sense kind of rises over you, Eric. The hairs kind of tingle, and you're like, kind of standing on end. And Hezrod's not really paying attention. He's looking at the altar. Hasn't really gotten a chance to identify anything on it or anything. But as it kind of comes up behind you, you kind of feel it and jump forward for no reason, kind of like a look behind you, and you see this massive watery tendril kind of snap closed where you were standing a second ago. All right, Golridir, you're not surprised during this initiative, so you will be acting.
okay. Did I actually take necrotic damage?
Yeah, sorry, thank you. No, at the start of your turn, you'll take the necrotic damage. You'll take 16 points of necrotic damage, and you're grappled by it.
Okay.
As long as you're grappled by it, you cannot... you are restrained, and you are unable to breathe, unless you can breathe water.
Cannot do that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna make a note of that.
Hezrod's gonna have a field day. They grab me here. We're gonna be like, aha!
Right.
Don't grab Hezrod. He won't even know it. This is like la 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 la.
Well, the necrotic damage still happens, but yeah.
But
Yeah.
Eric Hezrod still take damage, but he's like, I'm drowning you, fish man.
Oh god. I would like to. Why can't I see all of my spells? Okay, we're just gonna do Sacred Flame.
Okay. Yeah, there's no penalty there. It will make a dexterity saving throw. Okay. It fails. So it will take the 3 damage, but as you kind of like raise your hands and kind of hold the holy symbol in your hand as you're clutching it, and you see the radiance come down, you watch as it descends down right into your own face. It looks like it damages and splashes the ooze or whatever it is off of you a little bit, but you also feel it strike you kind of like across the face. You take 1 point of radiant damage.
Amazing.
And yeah, that's your turn.
Yep.
Okay, so you are currently drowning, and what that means is since it was a surprise situation that caught you in drowning, what's your Constitution score? Let me double check drowning rules.
Oh, hold on. Constitution score, that would be 1, right? No, 13.
No, you're 13. 1 is your 1 would be your
modifier.
modifier. Your score is the whole thing.
Yeah.
Isn't it like 1 minute per 2 or something?
Minutes equal to modifier. Let's see.
Oh, that's right. It's just minutes is equal to modifier, I guess.
After 1 plus con bonus minutes holding your breath underwater, you fall unconscious. Your hit points reach 0, and You can then survive for a number of rounds equal to your Constitution modifier, minimum 1 round. After that, you begin making death saving throws as per the standard rules. However, if you become stable, there is a problem. If you are still underwater, you can't remain stable, so you must make death saving throws again. This continues until you die, unless you are saved in some way.
Help
Hezrod,
me!
Jesus.
Hezrod,
Chad.
you're
You're
muted.
muted.
Sorry, I was muted. Am I aware of what's going on? Am I aware of this watery trouble?
Oh, sorry,
Or
no.
did
This is the
all
first
happen-
round of initiative still, so you're surprised, actually.
No.
You kind of hear like a kerfuffle and probably a "what the" from Eric, I presume.
Yeah.
So you would turn and see the situation. There's a big pool of water that's formed a tendril near Eric, and kind of snapping your eyes across the room, you would see that there's one that's kind of enveloping Golradier. The one that has Golradier appears to have kind of like a weird gradient of color. It's kind of like a light, like clear, translucent kind of bluish color, and then towards the half it's like pinkish, and at the base of this thing it's bright red. Like it's also filled with blood.
Right.
All right, Hezrod done. Fiona, this is the turn where you're moving down. So at the during the next turn, you'll be finishing your movement to the base of the steps, and then during the next round of initiative, you'll be able to act. The same is true for Avran on 1, and then we go to the top of the initiative to Eric. And what's your dexterity modifier actually, or dexterity score?
My score is 16.
Okay, then you actually do not go before they do. They have a 19 dex.
Damn.
Annoyed, it kind of roils and kind of snaps back, and then flails its entire body straight towards you. 18 to hit.
Yep.
Right. That'll do 11 bludgeoning damage. And hold on a second. Summon Beast.
It's concentration.
Go ahead, make your saving throw.
13.
Success. All right. That's it for the one fighting you. The one that is fighting Golradier. It cannot take any actions because it's currently squeezing. Yeah, it's just gonna go ahead and just chill. All right. And then it would go to Eric.
Okay, so technically speaking, I'm about. So I guess I always never forget. I can free action swap out my bow for a weapon, right?
No.
Or
You can draw a weapon and still be holding your bow. That's fine.
Okay, then yeah. So I guess hold bow in one hand, draw short sword in the other hand, and stabby.
Okay.
So and I get. Oh, and I have extra attack. So 24 for 11.
Okay.
And now that is hurt. Colossus Slayer.
Do bonus action Hunter's Mark?
No, I can't. I'm not going to because
Oh, wait,
it's
yeah, spell slot.
concentration.
Yeah.
No,
I got
not
you.
spell side, concentration. So my second attack, because of extra attack,
Miss.
if it's okay, so that's it done. And now my bestial spirit comes right after me, and I don't actually have direct.
You should. If you select the token and then hold shift and then double click it, it'll bring up the character sheet.
Ah, that's what I had the right idea. I was going to. Okay, then. So it's going to go ahead and do its whole multi-attack thing.
Yep.
Wait, so these makes number of attacks equal to half the spell's level rounded down.
You cast
Oh, so
it.
this is going to be 1.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it makes
One maul attack.
15.
And you rolled a 15 with no modifier. It attacks with your spellcaster modifier, which would be your wisdom plus your
Should be
proficiency
plus-
bonus.
Oh,
Which
yeah, so my
is enough to
wisdom
hit.
is
So go ahead and
2,
click on
3
the
for plus 5.
click on the word attack in the attack
Yeah.
block there, and so it'll be 6 plus
Plus
2.
1.
Oh, plus 1 was the spell.
Oh yeah,
level.
no, in spells levels. I was
Yeah.
thinking half. So 6 plus 2 for 8.
Okay.
And then it
You'll
is
note
going to
that
fly away.
a quick note: when it attacks it doesn't seem to do much in the route of damage. And you said it's going to try and move away.
Well, yeah, but it's flyby.
When it flies out of an enemy's reach. Okay, gotcha. Okay, cool.
So
Then
it's like, get to safety.
done with that. Golrier, you're up. This would be round 2 of the drowning state. Again, you have 2 minutes if your modifiers, so it'll be a total of 20 rounds that you'll be drowning. But yeah, that said, what would you like to do? You can attempt to escape as your action. You just need to make an either athletics or acrobatics check and beat the escape DC.
We're not good at either of those. But we're gonna try and escape with acrobatics.
Okay.
17.
That'll succeed. So you move out of
Yay.
it. You kind of start pushing yourself out. A bit of it kind of remains in your clothes and kind of like on you, but it seems the larger form kind of drops to the ground with kind of like a splash, but then coils back up. You still can move. Your action is expended on the escape, though. You can move your speed if you'd like, but you might take an opportunity attack.
No, we're not gonna move.
Okay.
And I don't think I have a bonus action I can use right now. Yeah, so that's it.
Okay, Hezron.
Escape.
Yeah, seeing that like Golradier's in trouble and he sees that like Golradier manages to separate himself from whatever this thing is. He moves here to here, and as he moves, he casts Eldritch Blast, one at the one that Eric's fighting and one at the one that Golradier's fighting. And then he's going to finish the rest of his movement, end up here. So let's do Eldritch Blast. There's one, that's a 23, and the next one's a 9. So
23
the one
will hit.
Eric is a 23, and the one against Golradier is
9. Okay. Wait, which one are you hitting?
So the 23 is the one that Eric's fighting.
Got it. Okay. So then 8 force damage?
Yeah, and if it hits, I'm going to go ahead and use Embrace Oblivion.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, extra 6 damage.
Okay. All right.
And then he says,
Golradier, get back!
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be it for me.
Sounds good. Fiona, this is the last turn of you moving down. Once you get to the bottom of the steps, which is the end of your turn, you would hear the sounds of combat. You would hear the sploshing of weird oozes. And then Avran, right behind Fiona, you would hear the same splish and blah, blah, blah. And then it goes back to me. All right.
It's a Murloc.
I am going to slam into Eric. 21 will hit. And that'll do 13 points of bludgeoning damage. And make a dexterity saving throw.
19.
Okay.
And I took damage, so con save of nat 20. 22 total.
All right. I'm going to smack Golradier. Miss. So just a very large kind of and slams into the sarcophagus next to you. When it hits, you can see that its shriek kind of cleans the material off of the coffin where it hits.
Oh, good.
Eric.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably foolishly, but I'm gonna stand my ground and take 2 more short swords attack at it. And I'm assuming it costs me like an extra something to put away my longbow and pull a.
Well, you can item interaction, put away your bow. That's fine.
But then,
it would be an action to draw your sword.
Okay, but I can. Oh no, because my item action last turn would have been to pull up the short sword. Okay, just understanding. So item action, put the bow away.
You could drop it and then draw the weapon.
Yeah.
You can pick it up later.
Okay.
After we kill everything.
Short sword, 2 attacks.
19.
Hit. And as you kind of pierce the material, you watch as it kind of hits, and this kind of penumbra on the exterior of it kind of pops, and it almost is like, those slow-mo videos of like balloons popping around water.
Mhm.
It does that, and it all just kind of onto the ground. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Gross.
That 1 for 7.
All right. You take 16 points of necrotic damage as the material kind of hits your legs, and you can feel this kind of cold sapping of strength kind of enter
16?
into. Yeah.
I'm down.
Okay.
Wow.
And so is my spirit.
Oh no.
Because I'm down, so I can't maintain concentration.
But yeah, it kind of splooshes. It kind of sends a bit of itself all over the place. But yeah, Eric down. Death saving throws happen at the start of your turn, so you're fine on that. Golrier, you're up.
Wait, why did my light go away? Oh, wait, I don't have light cast on my axe anymore, but there is a rock in the middle of the room that has light on it.
Yeah, I'll get it. Hold on.
You. Wait. Oh.
There.
We are going to go with. No, it was. Word of Radiance on this boy.
Okay. So it's a con saving throw.
Con, yeah.
It fails. It'll take 3 points of radiant damage.
Yeah! Slow and steady.
Wins the race. All right, Golrier, no movement.
We are going to back up just a hair.
You'll take an opportunity attack.
That's fine.
It misses. If you want to get behind Hezrod, like move a little bit further away so it doesn't jump out at you. Yeah. Hezrod.
And then it also gets me. Actually, since I'm closer to Eric now.
Throw out a healing word.
Yeah.
You can. Yeah.
Yeah, another reason why healing word is a good spell.
7.
Golrier gonna Golrier.
All right. And Fiona, you are now active. You see the situation in the light of the.
Me.
Oh, Hezrod, go. Sorry.
He's going to move into melee.
Mhm.
But 2 Eldritch Blast at this thing, then he moves into melee.
Okay. Throw your attack.
So, first one.
Miss.
Miss.
Roll a d20.
Second one. Misses that thing. It's just I roll a 1.
Okay. I'm going to say, as you kind of pull up the Eldritch Blast, the first Eldritch Blast strikes the second Eldritch Blast as they both arc towards it, and it pops in your face. You'll take 10 points of force damage from your own kind of detonation as you kind of misfire the Eldritch Blasts into themselves. And then kind of move forward into the creature space.
Well, shit. That didn't work out.
You rolled a 1 on a fumble roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck.
That's like
That
basically like it's true.
I
It's like
rolled
ultimate
double
bad
ones.
luck.
Yeah.
That's mean
So
like it's like
one
the
on a
ultimate of
D20.
bad luck.
Right.
So
God damn it.
back to Fiona moving down.
Well, I guess now, hold on. I'm
Oh my
sorry,
God.
'cause now I have to bonus action healing word myself.
Okay. Then Fiona will descend down. You are at the base of the steps. You see the fight as it's continuing. You have your entire turn. What would you like to do?
All right. Well, first I'm gonna move more into range, about at least 25 feet.
Okay.
Is this clearly in my eyes an undead? Like, can I tell that it looks like a ghosty thing?
It's not an undead. It looks like an ooze. It looks like a liquid blob. That one in particular is like half blood and half like water. Here, I'll send you a picture of what it looks like when it's consuming.
Ooh, me too, me too.
It's going into the Discord.
Okay. Half blood, half water. Disgusting. In that case, I'm gonna hurl fire at it.
Yeah.
And do a produce flame throw.
Hit.
Nice.
Okay.
That's fucking
You
terrifying.
kind of like reel back, creating the fire in your hand, and cast it forward. Hezrod kind of like dashing himself in the face with Eldritch Blast, then kind of moving forward, saying a word and healing himself. You watch as the fire strikes the side of the creature, and as it hits, you watch as that penumbra I mentioned kind of warps, and then you see the fire actually gleam over the outside casing of the thing and just like burn like oil resting on water becoming ignited, and the whole thing burns for like a hot second, and it starts wriggling in kind of like a weird kind of like painful fashion. It looks like the fire damage is super effective.
Nice.
And
She's gonna yell across to Hezrod. Hezrod, do your big boom thing again.
Big boom.
Avran, you see Fiona rush in and see the situation as it's unfolding.
Oh no! Beast! Oh, creature thing! Don't really have much in the forms of range attacks, so I will use Flash Lance.
Okay.
at
All three
first
at it? Oh, yeah,
level.
it's the only one remaining. Oh,
Yes. All three at it.
okay.
One. Nope. Okay. One.
So
2,
16, nat
Fuck
20.
yeah.
3.
Get it.
As it's burning, you watch as these three lances come flying out of the paladin's kind of grasp and kind of reaching for a sword. The bolts hit, and you can see the penumbra kind of like ripple, like a stone being cast into a lake. And as the ripple kind of like, you watch as each lance breaks a hole in it, and all of them kind of burst outwards. Hezrod, make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh shit.
Oh no. The reason why the con save is there is because of
I know.
yeah, you
I got a
created
15.
it.
Okay, you succeeded.
Oh,
You kind of
oh shit.
see it popping and bursting all over the floor. You kind of back away and like get away from the sploosh of water, and you can see the liquid kind of like pulse with this kind of black energy, this chill energy, before it just kind of stops and it's now just like a liquid. All right, that's the end of that conflict. It looks like maybe we are stepping out of initiative though.
Okay.
What the fuck happened down here?
Water things.
They just came for me,
Yeah.
Shit.
And
and then they
Yeah.
tried to drown me.
Have we checked the coffins?
I was looking at them,
I think
okay?
I think that's what Goldra was doing.
Can everyone pop the lid on this one?
Just gonna straight up desecrate
A grave.
a grave.
Indeed.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
These are undead creatures. They don't deserve
don't know.
respect.
You push
That
open the
could-
sarcophagus and there's an honored dead inside. Looks like he has a shield over his chest and a sword behind it.
Okay, I'll
And you
close
can
it,
actually
I'll close
see
it.
seals on the shield that have been wax pressed into the shield to kind of hold the seals present.
Okay.
And you can see the litanies of Octavius marking this individual
Oh,
as
okay.
a
No.
Yep, that's it.
No,
you
no,
you got
Everett,
it.
no.
You
Holy
got it already.
defender.
I'm going to close it.
No, you gotta remember the number
No.
one rule of D&D: loot all bodies.
Nope, I'm closing the coffin, and I am saying a prayer to Octavius, saying I'm so sorry. And then I will walk away, and I will go over here,
Sure.
over here,
So,
where I belong, next to the undead.
well, Jonah having been moved out of the way, we're going to quickly go from person to person. Gavin, what's Eric doing immediately after the conflict?
Cure wounds to heal himself.
Okay, perfect. And then Josie,
And-
what is Fiona doing immediately after the conflict?
So she's looking around this room because this is also like she just entered
Mhm.
and then this fight was brought out.
Yeah.
She notices these statues and she wants to investigate.
Okay, go ahead and make a history check. And then moving on to, let's do Elizabeth. Immediately after the fight, what would Golridir want to do?
Probably start. Yeah. Did I get all the information from the coffins
So the
that I could
marking,
glean, or
the markings weren't red, and you would actually
Okay.
kind of check them again if that's what you're doing,
yes,
and we'll cover
yes,
what
then
that
I would do that.
we'll cover what that does in a second. And then, Jonah, I believe you said you were hanging your head in shame. And then Chad, what is Hezrod doing after the fight? Keeping in mind that you were the only person who saw the boy.
Right. He goes back over to the altar where he was like inspecting the dead bodies. As he walks back over, he casts Cure Wounds on himself.
Okay.
And he
That's fine.
taps.
That's it.
Oh, I
It-
can't say anything.
I mean, if you want to say something, go ahead.
Yeah, he taps Avran on the shoulder and points to where the boy ran off, and he said,
There was a boy. He went that way.
Okay.
but he's checking out the bodies.
Sure. The dead bodies yield no information. There's nothing really present about them. It looks like another one of the cultists, and presumably the dead thing on the altar itself was a female, not a child, that was split in half at the abdomen. It looks like it's in a state of dissolve. It looks like it was being consumed, digested, similar to the body upstairs. So presumably these creatures were living on them. Both. Down
Have we
here.
seen a male body, or have they all been female?
The guy down here who's on the steps is a male.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've seen 2 women and a guy.
Yep. The woman is unrecognizable other than she is female because her state of dissolve is quite high. The guy who's on the steps looks like he's got a bit of dissolve to him. A lot of lacerative strikes that have been kind of cut across him, probably from slam attacks. But it looks like whoever he was half orc.
So these were not children.
No.
Yeah, so
And
Hezrod says,
His
These are
armor,
not the children we are looking for.
his armor has the same marking as the armor upstairs.
good.
I think
And that's the same as what was on the island, the upside down Halloween.
I think one thing running through Avran's mind is if, as soon as we walk into these rooms, we are attacked by these slime creatures or these ooze-like creatures, and the boy that keeps running from room to room is not attacked by these slime creatures, could they
That's a good
possibly
point.
be related in some way?
That is a very good question.
Your history check doesn't yield much, but to give you an idea of what these statues look like, they appear to be knights, and each one of them appears to have kind of a different styling of armor. The only one that you immediately recognize is an Osirian Holy Defender, which is kind of the one closest to the door, but the other knights are very foreign to you. They look like they're from different countries entirely. Countries you're not sure where they're from precisely, but you could ferret a guess, possibly a member of Talanya, Twilight Knights, possibly, Ikashati, Swordborn, but there's no knowledge in your head to like precisely be able to identify any of them. That's what the statues look like. All 8 of them are different.
I think she would approach the Osirian one
Okay.
and try to lift it up and see if it's like
Oh no, it's a
it's part of-
statue. Yeah, it's 1/1 scale.
Okay. Is there any
I mean-
inscription?
No,
Is there any inscription on any of these coffins?
there are, and we're going to get to that. Already, you go to look at the inscriptions, and you'll note that they seem to have been kind of like frayed. The inscriptions seem to have been frayed at their edges and kind of melted into the stone by some sort of acidic kind of nature. So they're very illegible, very hard to kind of decipher. But from what you can tell, the one that you're directly at appears to be written in different script. It's not the common alphabet that you would normally see. It appears that the alphabet on this specific sarcophagus was something foreign, something different to Osirian language. But you're pretty sure it's really close to Sylvan. It's really close to Elvish. You're not sure what language it is, though. I accidentally bumped my box of miniatures.
Oh, I thought
Don't do that yet.
I thought it was the kitty.
No,
Same.
Mittens
I
got
would have
scared by
blamed the
it.
cat.
Mittens got scared by
Aw.
it. I'm not going to blame the cats if it's not their fault.
Mittens.
As Fiona and Gloria are inspecting these, the two of you would arrive at the same position, the sarcophagus that's broken. The writing on it is very hard to decipher, but you do recognize a symbol that's kind of present on the shield. The symbol is the Atma symbol, which you've seen a couple of times. Inside of it, looking into the break, you can see that there is a skeletal form inside. Looks like it's bound in robe, kind of like almost wrapped entirely in the robe. And the right foot of it is kind of fallen out into the rubble. Its foot is broken into all the different bones inside of that pile of rubble just off on the outside.
Okay. So it just has it's robed and it has the Atma symbol, but that's
Have a symbol on the sarcophagus. Writing is illegible. You don't even know what alphabet that is. And broken foot.
okay.
I feel like seeing when Avran opened the coffin, and that this seems to be like a normal burial place, perhaps even for like respected knights. I think she'll kind of turn to Avran and say, I hate to say this, but I think Avran may be correct in saying the child has something to do with all this. Perhaps this place isn't really to blame, but some sort of spellcaster. Should we go check out the situation up north? And she'll kind of point to where Hezard said the kid left.
Indeed.
Okay. If you come up that way, it's a staircase. The staircase descends down. As you come around the corner there, and this will be the final bit before we end the session. Let me shift it, make sure. I think Eric has dark vision right now.
Can Avron
Okay,
be
go.
in the front and use
Avran.
his divine sense?
Avran, Hezrod, Eric, Golridir, Fiona is the marching order I have. And absolutely can use your divine sense, perfectly acceptable. So let me explain the situation that you kind of spill into. You see another one of those pits. The acid in it at a much higher level, and it looks like quite a bit of it is spilled out. The boy is kind of close to the wall, kind of slowly shifting, and as you kind of descend down, he goes, hey, shh, 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 and it's already too late. You kind of stumble down into this space, and I don't think you would have passed the stealth check, but if you'd like, you can go ahead and make stealth checks. I guarantee you're not going to
Sure.
make it. That's fine. The boy
not?
kind of looks at you like horrified. So there's just a satisfactory 2 failures that definitely nulls it out. We're good. 3 failures with Chad failing as well. The boy kind of looks at you horrified and kind of like, shh, no. And then as he says that, and Avran kind of looks at him in the divine senses, the boy does not glow. He's not evil, by the way. He's not celestial. He's not any of the types. He appears to be boy-like. You see that up ahead, there's kind of like a higher rise, about 15 foot high, where there's kind of like a platform. There's 4 sarcophaguses around this pit as well. And like I said, splash all over the place. At certain points of the floor, you can also see large like stone skulls that are kind of just around. They just look like they've been kind of launched or thrown there. You see 2 dragon heads kind of move open. And inside you see what appears to be artifice starting to work. And as it does settle into place, you notice that there appears to be a projectile settled inside, skull-shaped, stone-like, and it kind of focuses in towards aiming, both of them, at Avran. As that happens, the boy kind of like, and very quickly darts towards the wall and kind of presses his back against it, kind of holding himself there, and looks at you. We gotta get through the door, they're in there! And I would like for Avran and Hezrod to go ahead and make perception checks before we end the session now. Okay. The boy looks genuinely concerned and like he's very hopeful that you'll help him. You would also note that the things inside of the mouth, the skull launchers, there's a number of different like positions. There look like there are like lances, harpoons, and other things inside of it. Like it has differing firing modes. All right. we'll pick up next session with the fun in the acid pit. All right. Thanks for watching if you did, and we will pick up next session next week.
Hell
Yay,
yeah.
bye.
Stop the stream.